welcome to Weekly Affirmations, the positive feel-good show about positive feel-good things, and Anna getting her coffee and water. And Joe, can you intro us, please?
Oh, I said a Weekly Affirmations, a positive feel-good show. The most positive thing on this channel called Hyper Rabbit Power Go.
It's pretty decent.
It is pretty decent. So welcome to the weekend, everybody.
Nay, it is very decent.
Well, you're gonna have to get that changed in the track then.
I'll see what I can do.
Right.
Zach's leaving for about a week in a couple weeks, so I'll see if I can get Alex to change that.
You're saying there's opportunities?
The return of No Zach Con.
Yes.
Hello, chat. It is wonderful to see you guys. Who do I see in there? I see...
And fifth reel.
Oh yeah, there's a fifth reel. There's
Drunkenly Romantic.
Yep,
and
peanut butter and jelly.
Do you need to borrow my glasses?
The book snail. Maybe, I don't know. I am getting old. So welcome everybody to Weekly Affirmations. This show is about indie and freeform games, the analog type, so non-digital. Usually the weirder the better. And I am your host, Strix. I'm here every week at 3 p.m. Hosting this show. I choose all the content myself, and it's really quite a blast. So today we are playing Once Upon a Time. It is produced by Atlas Games, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it during the show. But first, I would love to introduce my lovely guests, and we're going to start over here with Scott.
Hello, everyone. I am Scott. You can see me right here on this channel on Wednesdays on Rabbit Stew at 1, where we talk about comic books, and on Monday nights, I'm on Valiant Vanquished.
Excellent. And Scott, what are 3 things that you like?
Let's see. Right now, I like Pokemon because I cannot get it out of my brain. I like the comic book Southern Bastard, so that's read it outside while I was waiting for the show. Zach has been telling me to read it as long as I've been on this channel, and it's very good. And lastly, I like the sun.
Oh, that's lovely.
I like the sun.
You live in
and
Seattle?
I've been enjoying it. Yeah.
And you like the sun.
I do. I live in Seattle, so I can like the sun in this amount of time. I don't like the sun when there's too much of it. So Seattle makes me like the sun to the amount that I can appreciate it.
The sun does not necessarily like him.
There we go.
This is
there
a
we
feeling
go.
I'm familiar with.
And it gets me.
Okay, got it. So you guys mostly know me. I'm Strix, and I am the host. I am a game designer, a gaming academic, and a diversity inclusion advocate in games. I'm currently writing for State of Decay 2, which is a video game, and Scion, which is a tabletop RPG by Onyx Path, and a whole bunch of other stuff that it would just take too long to talk about. But my 3 things that I like this week are open-top ocean kayaks, summer dresses, and real melon flavored boba. Who's this? Who is this?
It's me.
That's that.
Hi.
Helps when you introduce her.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
I am Nicole Lindroos. I am the general manager of Green Ronin Publishing, and I've been in games, tabletop games, since 1987, 88, 89, depending on when you count my officialdom.
A fantastic amount of time.
A long time, because I'm old.
A fantastic amount of time
That's
because
right.
you are awesome.
Thank you. So, things that I like. I like rabbits. I like Dragon Age. And I like Regency romances.
Ooh, this is why we're friends.
Some good ones.
And
Well, because you took some that I would have used if you weren't going to use them. So
We can share.
oh,
We can share. So I'm Anna. I am a producer here on Hyper RPG, as well as a Twitch partner broadcaster on my own channel, which you can reach at thegeekfleet.com. And I like, what did we decide they were? They were woman bonding, day drinking, and going on adventures.
that's an awesome combination.
very good.
So we also will be having in chat with us today one of the designers of this game. His name is James Wallace.
James Wallace.
James Wallace. James, if you are in chat right now, I'm not sure if you've joined us yet, go ahead and say hi so that we know it's you, and so that the other chat members can welcome you.
So we can see that that's the size is way
Happy
off. On this.
hashtag Strixdale, D. Hey Strix, Scott, Anna, Nicole. Hope all have had a great week.
Excellent. We can't see who that was, so 1 second.
That was Aradinsk, but I missed what they said.
Yeah, there it is.
Airdinks. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Airdinks. And I hope that you are having a magnificent start to your weekend.
Oh, and we see James is here.
Oh, James is here.
Hello, James.
Hi, James. Everybody in chat, please say hi to James. Welcome him to the community. If you have any questions for him about the design of the game, or inspirations, or how it's managed to stay in publication forever, go ahead and ask him those questions while I get this affirmation ready.
How could you tell it was him?
Oh, yes.
Sorry, that's just the mood I'm in today.
Yeah, this is so what you guys don't know is I have mixed up the affirmations a little and put in some new cards because I finally found the stock.
Ah, good.
Which means at the end of today's game, I'm gonna have these guys fill out a new card too. Don't worry about it, it's fun.
You know what I want to put back in.
No nerf herders. It's gotta be positive.
It is positive.
Well, see, when Leia... No. When Leia is calling him a scruffy nerf herder, it is an insult.
And they get married.
And granted, all he says is, "Who's scruffy looking?"
Right.
So clearly,
Right.
it's
It's
scruffy
nerf
looking.
herding.
That nerf herder's fine.
Was not the problem there. And some people don't mind being scruffy looking. Scruffy is cute.
I definitely have
Joe
been.
has got it. I
have
gave
been
those
adequate-
cards to Joe. Joe has the scruffy looking nerf herder cards. All of them. All three. He has
All
scruffy.
right, you know what? We're
he
just
has
gonna-
looking and he has nerf herder.
We're gonna table this for now. And I want to give Airdinks his affirmation.
Is that the first use of that card?
So
That would be
Airdinks,
kind of amazing.
you are a judicious, calculating chupacabra. So wonderful. Judicious, calculating chupacabra. So I'm imagining like a chupacabra who's like a CPA and has like glasses and is like doing the calculations with the little ticker tape coming out. I think that's glorious.
Chupacabra.
Yes.
This chupacabra does not cut corners.
I love that every single one of these affirmations is something I would love to see a Frithiel draw.
Right? It's talent. It's a real talent.
Yeah. Affirmation Matrix needs a xenomorph.
It does need some xenomorphs. Oh, Hyper Rabbit
Power
Power Go!
Sorry about the confusion that happened this week, Strix. We are looking into the problem, but all we are getting is error code. Strix, please affirm our program so that it may work better. Hashtag Renraku.
Oh, Renraku. So what happened this week on Discord is that my cat got really bored and started stomping on my keyboard while I was at work and somehow turned on my Discord mic while I was at work. So everyone in Discord is like, "Hey, Strix, what's going on?" And I'm not there. And so finally I like walk through my door and I get a text from Emily and she's like, "Your Discord mic is on." And I'm like, is it? So I go over and I'm like tapping on the computer and she's like, "I hear you tapping." And I'm like, "Oh my God, what is happening?" So yeah, Discord, Renraku.
Right. So Renraku would like you to affirm Discord.
Yes,
That's
so
good.
Okay.
Discord, this one is for you, you naughty program you. Discord, you are a mystical, juggling python. Which is interesting because pythons don't have juggling limbs.
Please, have you not seen
Hyper Rabbit Power Go!
Disney's Robin Hood?
That's true. That's true.
They got tails.
Hashtag Scruffiner Fritter Appreciation
Okay.
Hype. Also, can we get small fry
Get
for
it.
weekly affirmation? Please. Hashtag as technology.
As technology, you're my brothers. Okay, so this one is for Small Fry. I will consider adding Nerf Herder back, but there is not a final decision yet. So, Small Fry, you are a svelte, blurting lion. So I imagine that's like this really like nice looking lion, and he's like, "Hello, roar! roar, roar, roar!" Because you know he's blurting. You okay, Nicole?
I'm great. I am great.
So, in case you're wondering what on earth is going on, anytime anyone donates or subscribes to the channel while my show is happening, they get an affirmation, and they can direct this affirmation towards someone else, which is super cool. They can have it for themselves, which is also super cool. And they come from my handy dandy and now updated affirmation matrix, which occasionally is accompanied by animal sounds. So there you go. You can also, throughout our show today, tweet us with the hashtag GameFeels with a Z. About halfway through the show, we'll pause and sort of regroup, and I'll read some of those tweets live on air, which is really fun. So you can, again, affirm people, talk about the play, do silly things. We don't really care as long as it's nice, be cool to each other. And then we'll do the same thing at the end of the show as well when we wrap up. So tweet us, hashtag GameFeels throughout the show, and donate or subscribe, and you get an awesome affirmation.
Joe, are you playing Stardew Valley on the stream PC? Sounds like the Stardew Valley soundtrack.
All right.
Hashtag weekly affirmations for the lurkers, please.
All right. Thank you, Ifithriel. That's very nice of you to affirm other people in the channel. So I'm sure there are some lurkers out there today. Go ahead and, say hi once, at least, so we know that you're there. We'll be nice. We're a pretty friendly community. But lurker people, whoever you are, welcome to the show and thank you for joining us. And you guys are eager, wandering phoenixes, because you're plural. Or is it phoenixi? Or is it just phoenix?
I think it's just phoenix.
Could it be Phoenix?
It could.
I don't know. What is the plural of phoenix?
I think it's just phoenix.
Strix facts. It's whatever Strix says it is.
The plural of Phoenix is Phoenix.
So that's another thing that happens here on this channel. I have no control of it, but there's this thing called Strix Facts. It's super hilarious. People make up facts about me because apparently my real life is also unbelievable. That's okay. Hyper Rabbit Power, go!
Strix, please give Binky an affirmation because deep down he is a really big softie. He likes it when people call him Bonky Winking Face.
Is it bonky winking face?
It's Winky Binky Bonky. So that was from Hyper Rabbit Power, go!
Can we get an affirmation for Rai Rai? Mostly because I want to hear the Rai Rai affirmation theme. But he really does deserve one, no matter what Zach says.
Aww. Well, unfortunately, Ryan is not in the studio today. He took off to have some well-deserved time off, but I will still obviously affirm him, and you should record it and tweet it at him, because he can still probably get it before he gets on the plane at the airport. I'm sure he would love that.
I'm Rai Rai. Hey everybody, where's my jig?
Sorry, Ryan. You're gonna have to hang out 2 seconds, because you're second in line.
Okay.
Okay, but you can help me with this first affirmation.
Perfect.
This is for Binky. Binky Bonky.
The bit has to go longer than this?
Yes, it does! Ha 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 ha! So, Binky, you are a determined, cunning chinchilla.
So soft and fluffy.
Now,
That is not what I read on that card.
what did you read, Nicole? What did
I get the impression this is a family program.
Not always. Oh.
I'm sorry. Somebody needs to improve their handwriting.
Well, I'm so sorry that I don't have grade school handwriting.
I only wrote 2 of those.
Cunning. Cunning.
Just out of the corner of my eye. It didn't look like...
Shut up, Joe! So, a determined, cunning chinchilla, which I think would sound like...
Oh.
They were written very, very quickly.
I wrote this morning!
Not
Chinchillas,
those,
very
I wrote
soft,
those.
petable.
They are. They're good for... Okay, now this one is for you, Rai.
Is it my turn?
It is
Rai
your
Rai, the
turn.
doppelganger guy.
Rai. You are a witty, vindicating koala. Oh, you're not done yet. No. If you're gonna play Ryan's part, you gotta play Ryan's part, Zach.
Oh, he's done.
You gotta do the sound, Zach.
I am impressed. No, seriously, I am impressed that he was able to muster that much
That much?
energy.
That was pretty good from Rai Rai, the imposter guy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zach.
That was impressive.
And someone please tweet that to Ryan. I'm sure he would.
Oh my
enjoy
goodness,
it.
yes. Please clip all of that and send it to Ryan.
And you should know, Zach is not feeling better from his sickness. That was legitimately impressive that he held together.
I wasn't going to mention it because he's doing the show after this one, but yeah, no, he's been napping on the couch all day. So that was all the energy he had right there.
Let's break the time-space continuum and affirm the person watching your video on YouTube. Right now, #weekly affirmations.
That's a good one, Ifithriel.
Don't worry, Ifrithiel, that doesn't actually break the time-space continuum. Time is not linear, it's fine.
So, YouTube viewers, thank you for joining us on Weekly Affirmations. I hope you're enjoying the series so far. If you've made it this far through, we're like on episode, 12, 13 or something? So this one is for you, YouTube. You are rambunctious, jumping minotaurs. I think that's pretty fantastic, actually. Rambunctious, jumping minotaurs.
I can picture it vividly.
Yeah? Do you know what it sounds like?
Probably a lot of.
Oh, there we go.
They're heavy.
They're also doing the Rai Rai dance.
Yeah, they're doing the right dance. They got big hooves doing that big cloppy dance.
Oh my goodness, yes. Now I want to see a Minotaur with glasses on doing clop, clop, clop.
Oh, that's fan art right there.
Every time I hear one of these, I think of how Ifrithiel would draw it. Like every single time. That's how I envision whatever it is that's on the Matrix.
Yes, and actually Void Smoker too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't seen many.
Void Smoker did an excellent Armadillo. Really proud of it.
I will have to look.
Yeah. All right, so I think you guys have got the gist of it now. This is a show about RPGs. We are very silly and positive. There are affirmations for you if you donate or subscribe. Say hi to everyone in chat. We're a nice, big, happy family community most of the time. And of course, one of the designers of the game today is in chat. His name is James. Say hi to James. Ask him questions. That's what he's here for. And I think we can get started about talking about the game itself. Sound good?
Sounds great.
I'm in.
Okay, so Hyper Rabbit Power Go! Yeah.
Please affirm James Wallace #game feels #paranoia #set or #prep.
Excellent. So that was from 4am Critter. Thank you, 4am Critter. You're always so nice to our guests. I really appreciate it. James, I know you're watching, so this one is for you. You are a brave, encouraging nymph. I think that's perfect.
6'3" nymphs.
And he's brave and encouraging.
Yeah, that's, I think nymphs are usually very shy, so in order to be encouraging, this nymph has to be brave.
So he's like, oh, do it! Oh. Chat, how are you guys doing today? I see a lot of Pokemons going on.
The Doc Cross says, so what exactly are they drinking? Not enough.
Hi, Doc.
We are, unfortunately, very sober right now. Hopefully that will change.
Right now.
For now.
now.
Steph is on the way.
I saw some Strix facts, but I didn't have time to read them out yet, so I don't know if you want to regurgitate those or we can move on.
I didn't see any Strix facts.
I did, and I didn't get a chance to read them. Hyper Rabbit
Power
Go!
Could I get an affirmation for the great Dragon Lothware and everyone at #set or #prep?
Excellent. So that was from Woland84. Thank you so much. Hyper Rabbit Power Go!
It's time for a weekly show formation.
Excellent. And that was from Deathstrike. It's taking notes. All right. So this one is for the Dragon Lafir and all of Cider Croup. You probably have no idea what's going on.
That's okay.
It's okay.
I live my life a lot like that, actually.
Welcome to Hyper RPG.
So, my show is obviously not the only show on the channel. That's true. And there's another show called Corpse Sins. It's based off of Shadowrun. And there's a metagame attached to it. And people are playing the metagame right now with their donations. And that's why they keep hashtagging these corporations from... It's not because we're crazy. It's not because you're crazy. It's because they're playing a metagame. So hopefully that helps a little. All right, so you guys... Where's that camera? There it is.
Doc is one of
I don't blame you, James, at all.
Oh, wow.
I wish they were serving.
You guys are faithful, daring echidnas. And an echidna is kind of like an anteater, right? It's got that bloop.
I thought it was closer to a hedgehog.
What?
My knowledge of echidna
Sonic?
comes from Knuckles the Echidna, so...
I was told I had to include that one. I don't know how.
Wait, Knuckles is an echidna?
Yeah.
I always thought he was a hedgehog too.
No.
I thought it was a hedgehog too.
No. See,
That's how I learned that an echidna exists in the first place, is that I played Sonic.
I talked to someone who's like, it's so cool. They made up this thing called an echidna. I was like, no, it's actually really it's a little
It's an animal.
It's for real.
Strix facts, Strix affirmations, rewrite reality for the duration of weekly affirmations. Thank you guys.
I like this
Someone
one.
explain to Anna what the metagame is. Thanks, Cryomancer.
I like this one. Strix doesn't need glasses. She just has a hard time with this thing we call vision because she sees everything that ever was and ever will be all at once.
Uh-oh.
Basically Dr. Manhattan.
Or, the spice must flow.
So I don't know if you saw, James said that Doc was one of the people who play tested Once Upon a Time at Gen Con in 1991, which is when I saw it as well. And I just wanted to call that out since Doc is driving James to drink at the moment.
Oh,
In
well,
the
there you
comments.
go.
Yeah. Well, I think we might also be driving James to drink at the moment.
Doc brought it up. It's his fault.
Don't worry, James, you're in for a long ride. Woo! So this one is for Joe, and this is from Deathstrike. So I can't see Joe in the AV room right now, but I'm sure he can see us. So Joe, you are a lucky, buzzing pegacorn. Joe gets his own special sound. Thank you so much, Joe, for all of your hard work. It's the angels ascending. Joe is awesome. Joe makes the show amazing. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. All right, so let's talk about Once Upon a Time.
Let's.
Tell me a little bit about how you were involved with this whole crazy thing.
This is my favorite story because it cements my reputation as a fixer.
Okay, hang on. Does it start Once Upon a Time? Because it really should.
No.
Say.
So my part in it, in Once Upon a Time, was that I was attending Gen Con in 1991.
Once upon a time, there was Gen Con in 1991.
I happened to meet a young man who was shopping his game around. I think he may have been pointed in my direction because at the time I was working for White Wolf Publishing, and he wanted to, Milwaukee, 1991. Wanted to show it off to somebody at White Wolf. And I was just in the process of leaving White Wolf to go back to Minnesota and work for Atlas Games. So I took James by the hand and I said, you don't want to go over there. Let me take you over here and introduce you to these people. And then I let them make out and I'll let them show off their
Game! That's how games are born.
That's right. So I still have my first
When the
edition.
developer really likes the game company.
And when
And
they
the
can work
game
out a
company
mutually
really likes
beneficial
the developer.
contract, then they put out a game like this. So I brought my original copies because they're very different in format from the
second
versions that you guys have.
I saw that Sally just joined us. Hello, Sally. So tell me
Right.
about what you were telling me earlier. Why is
right.
there a giant box for card games?
Okay, so James says at that point he'd been working on the game with his partners Andrew and Richard for a year and a half or so. The copyright notice in here says 1993, so it was between August 1991 and whenever 1993 that this version came out, and it came out in this format with this like dinky little box that's kind of roughly book-sized because it was pre. Magic the Gathering collectible card game mania, and game distributors had a really hard time agreeing to carry normal card-sized products. Printers also had a lot of trouble conceiving of card games that were.
They just wouldn't do it, huh?
It was ridiculously expensive, and having custom backs. You know, the poker card companies wanted you to have regular poker deck backs. So Bicycle wanted their bicycle thing, and if you wanted something different, oh heaven forbid, you had 2 different cards, like Once Upon a Time and Happy Ever After cards. Well, then you were talking about 2 setups, and so you end up with something like this, which you know. Very basic rule set, and some 2-color cards that had been square cut. They don't have the nice rounded shuffly corners and stuff. They're just different.
Yeah.
Just different. Yeah.
So this game has really been in production for over 20 years.
It has. Yeah.
That's a long time, and it's really evolved over that time as well. From first edition to second edition, and now there's a third edition out, correct?
There is. I believe there is, yeah.
I think there is. James can confirm. James also said Atlas was not actually at Gen Con in 1991. He had to Greyhound over to Minneapolis to meet John Nephew and do the contract stuff.
That sounds right. Yeah,
Greyhound.
I was going back to meet him, and he wasn't at Gen Con. I was. He had set up shop in the town where my parents lived and still live. And so after Gen Con, I was going back to spend some time with my parents and talk to John about coming back to town to work for him. And that all rings a bell vaguely now.
Excellent. So, James, we know that you're one of 3 creators on this game. We'd love for you to chat at us a little bit about
Drive
how
up the
this
price
even...
of this beautiful shrink-wrapped copy, James. Drive up the price.
How did this game happen? Where did this idea come from? Why did you want to do fairy tales? Why did you want to do a story game at a time when there were not really a whole lot of story games around? I would love to know this, and I'm sure chat would as well. So we will be watching for your answers, James.
No pressure, James.
No pressure at all. Just tell us why you're brilliant. And then, the door cross is
Dot Cross.
Dot Cross
is the Dot Cross.
The Dot Cross. So Dot Cross is here too.
He is.
And he says James and I both play tested it over the Edge at one Gen Con.
Oh, that was another game that
Another
Atlas
game?
did.
Kind of around the same time? Different time?
Roughly the same time.
Okay.
He was publishing Over the Edge when I was working there, so by 1992 for sure. If not at that particular.
That's pretty cool.
Guys, making me feel old.
No. Oh, Peanut Butter and Jelly says, you know what? We haven't had an actual Strix fact in a while. He likes doing like actual owl facts because he thinks he's funny. So here goes. Strix fact. Spotted owls do not build their own nests, instead making use of cavities found in trees, deadwood, and snags, and the sites of abandoned raptor or squirrel nests. Now you know. Strix facts. An actual Strix fact.
1/3 copies he drops that number that has sold.
Ooh, that is a lot of copies of fairy tales.
It is.
Oh man, so let's actually see about playing this game. So, you guys probably know what this is. This is the X card.
It's the I need an adult card.
Not necessarily. It is a way to respectfully navigate boundaries with each other while still having fun. The X card was created by John Stravellopoulos. I know a bunch of you have heard this before, but some of you have not, so I'm going to repeat it. It is a mechanic where if there's content in the game that is making you not have fun, so it's making you uncomfortable, it's just gross, you don't want it, you can tap the X card and everyone goes, okay, and we just cut that thing out and we keep moving on. It's a way to not interrupt flow while still making sure that everybody at the table is having fun, because if you're not, what's the point in playing a game? So the way the X card works, because I know you're new too, Scott, right?
Yes, I am.
So we're gonna put it kind of in the middle of the table. You can kind of aim towards it. You don't actually have to touch it. And you're just gonna say X card.
Climb on the table and grab the card.
And then we'll all go, oh, okay. You can X card yourself, and you can X card other people. I've actually X carded myself on the show before, several times. So the X card is a good thing, not a bad thing. We want you to use it instead of not using it. We had a big discussion actually last show about the cultural norms around the X card. It was really fascinating. But basically, you use it as much as you want to and as much as you can, and then it becomes established as a cultural norm, and then people don't have problems using it. They don't feel stigmatized for going, no, I don't really like spiders. No, I don't want to talk about sexual assault right now, or whatever it is. We don't really care.
That's quite a continuum.
Well, actually, that's what I X-carded myself for. I was like, getting creepy, and I was like, nah, now we're done.
Fair enough.
People are asking if I got tattoos. I've had tattoos for decades. I have multiple tattoos. I'm not showing them all to you.
Ooh, okay, well.
Well, I'd have to take my shirt off, and that's
Yep,
you know,
that's Twitch doesn't like that.
Yeah. I mean, I have another shirt on underneath, but it's just not worth taking up that much showtime.
Okay, that's fair. So James, who is one of the creators, says, Andrew, Richard, and I have always been massive goobs for story and games. We came out of the 1980s fanzine scene in the UK, so punk, doing zines with an emphasis on story and narrative. I like you, James. And I was hanging out with people like the late Eric Wujcik, who did the first diceless RPG.
Amber Diceless.
Oh, he did Amber?
Yep.
That is freaking rad. We're gonna have to do Amber on this show sometime. I know it's like classic now, but
I
we give it a
wrote
shot.
in the Hobby Games 100. I wrote the essay about Amber Diceless as a game that really influenced me, that I wasn't involved with, and that I really liked.
So you're saying you're gonna come back to the show and play it with me?
You could maybe twist my arm.
She's like, I'm never coming back after this. I'm never doing it.
We'll have mimosas. It'll be fine.
There we go.
Okay, so let's talk about this game and what's in the box. We are going to be playing second edition, not first edition. We're not.
That was just a
we're not
visual
opening
aid.
that priceless saran wrapped
Collectible.
collectible first edition. Second edition is much slimmer, in profile, and I like the art better. I'm just gonna be honest, James. I like the art better in second edition, way more. In fact, I bought this for the art about 4 years ago. I was at a game store in San Diego, and I was actually looking at Scion, and I kind of popped over, and I was like, "Ooh, what is this fairy stuff?" And I picked it up, and I brought it home, and I never played it because I couldn't get anyone to play it with me. So this is actually the first time I'm gonna be playing this game, and I'm doing it live on air. So you guys know the drill. We're gonna try to figure it out. So.
That is brave.
Oh, welcome to Weekly Affirmations. You missed the episode where we played Lesbians Dying in Space.
I did miss that one.
It was really good, though. Emily and I did a fantastic job, if I can say so myself. There were tears.
Aw.
They were good tears. It was all about the game feels. With a Z, yes. So inside the box, what you will find is 2 sets of cards and some instructions. The instructions look like yay. They are pretty straightforward, not too convoluted, and the cards look like yay. So there's a skinny deck and a fat deck. They're really beautiful. One of them is a happily ever after deck, which means you pull this card for the ending. And then the other deck is basically the narrative points that you're gonna have to try to get across in the story as you're playing. Now this, unlike many other story games that I play on this show, is competitive. There's a win condition, which is kind of rare. You guys know that. I don't normally have that on this show because I like cooperative storytelling. So in this one, it's kind of like if you mixed Uno with narrative storytelling, you're trying to get down to like 0 cards, and then that's the win condition. You win. I have that right?
Yes.
I have that right.
Like, you get down to 0 cards by playing your happy ever after card.
Yep.
Or did they change it to happily? In the original, I think it was happy. I think that's more British, maybe, James?
Well, UK punk.
UK. But yeah, that's the idea.
Excellent. So that's the basic premise. It is a competitive game where you're storytelling. You're trying to get rid of your cards. You can play anywhere from 2 people, so a 2-player game, up to, I don't know, comfortably maybe 8. It might be a little rambunctious, but you'll still have a lot of fun. And that's generally the gist of it. So pretty easy and straightforward for any first-time story gamers. Hint, hint. Nod, nod. So I'm just gonna read the introduction in an unboring way as possible. So, Once Upon a Time is a game in which players create a story using cards that show important elements from fairy tales. One player is the storyteller and creates a story using the ingredients on her cards, trying to guide the plot towards her own ending. The other players try to use their cards to interrupt her and become the new storyteller. The object of the game is for players to enjoy themselves, we'll try, and to tell a good story. The player who uses all the story cards in her hand and guides the plot to her ending wins the game. So we're actually trying to get the narrative to shift tracks too.
Correct.
So we could really just over it to a different way, because you're aiming for your ending, and your ending has to make sense, or people can be like, that's silly, and you have to take another card. So that's why you want to like pull it over to where you're going. You've actually played this game before, right?
I have.
Excellent.
It's cooperative storytelling with a competitive ending.
Fascinating. That's fascinating to me. Okay, So description of play, the cards. So basically, there are different kinds of narrative points that you can pull in the cards. So there's characters, there's items, there's places, there's aspects, which are ways of describing things, and there are events. So pretty straightforward. It's good music, Joe. And then there are, of course, the happily ever after cards. So the way that we start with 4 players is that we get 7 cards each of these narrative cards. And we get 1 or 2 happily ever after cards. I thought it was 1. 2.
I've played with 1, but
We'll say it's 1. Why not? We can do whatever we want.
Strix rules.
Watch us murder your game, James.
Strix facts. Strix plays how she wants to.
Okay, there's 7 for you. I played Emily Caraboss's Shooting the Moon the other day, and let me tell you about murdering games. It was tough.
So, did you go over the interrupting rules?
Why don't you do that while I deal?
That's an important aspect of shifting the narrative. If someone says, for example, the woodcutter was coming home from chopping wood with his shiny axe or whatever, and you have a woodcutter card or a home card or an axe card or a shiny card, you can interrupt the story by playing your card at that point. I believe that I am not too far off on that.
You can just read it verbatim.
I could, but I don't sight read well. Since like 2nd grade, it's made me really nervous.
Well, then I can do it instead.
That, or I could just
I'm
pass
like,
it down.
I can only do it in silly voices.
Perfect. Here's your
Interrupting?
knowledge.
I can't do that one. What voice should I do?
Do your nerd voice.
My nerd voice? Okay. There are 2 main ways for the other players to interrupt the storyteller. 1. If the storyteller mentions something in her story which is on a card held by another player, that player can interrupt. For example, storyteller, and so she fell asleep under the great oak tree that grew in the forest. At this point, a player with... Sorry, I lost the voice when I lost
the spin.
At this point, a player with the forest card could play it, interrupt the storyteller, and continue the story herself. The storyteller does not have to use the exact words that are written on a card in order to be interrupted with it. For example, storyteller, and the king fell in love with the woodcutter's daughter, plays 2 people fall in love card. And they were married. A year and a day later, she gave birth to a baby boy. At this point, a player who holds the prince or child card can play it and interrupt. A baby is a child and the son of a king is a prince, even though the storyteller has not used those exact words.
So the key here is this is a game of active listening, and you have to be active listening for a keyword, which you may have something to relate it in your deck, and then you interrupt and you take control of the story. And you want to take control of the story because you want to finish your own story. Make sense? I think that makes sense. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the first way. There's a second as well.
What's the second way?
When the storyteller plays a card, she may be interrupted by any player who has an interrupt card whose group matches that of the card that has been played. For example, the card interrupt, any object, can be played when the storyteller plays an object card.
That makes sense to me.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. So what about if someone says something that the rest of us don't agree with?
Nay!
And we say, that doesn't make
nay.
sense.
I think that would be when you would use oh no, you're saying that doesn't make any sense.
So you do have to tell a congruent story. It can't just suddenly go from like fairy tale land to baseball field. And if it does, then the rest of us get to say, no, that's silly. And if we all say, no, that's silly, then that person doesn't get to do that. Make sense? So continuity is the thing. Yep, got that one. And we should probably talk about the ending, right? Assuming we get to the ending.
Assuming we do.
Assuming we make it that far. Okay, so when the storyteller has played all her Once Upon a Time cards, She can then play her happily ever after card to end the story, provided this brings the story to a sensible and satisfying conclusion. That's a tall order. Then the game and the story are over, and the player who played her ending card has won. Yes?
Oh, I was watching. James has been noting that the perfect drunk storytelling game is The Extraordinary Adventures of Baron Munchausen, which he also wrote.
Yes.
And I didn't want to interrupt, but yes, absolutely. If you haven't played that, you should play that.
Excellent.
I like that Afrithiel says, so a group can call shenanigans. Got it.
Yes.
Yes.
I call them shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
In fact, that's
our
we
word.
should have to
That
do
will be
it.
the
Yeah.
word that we use.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Should the other players judge that the storyteller's ending card does not finish the story satisfactorily, shenanigans, or make sense, then that player must draw a new ending card from the Happily Ever After deck and one story card from the Once Upon a Time deck, just like the punishment you would get in Uno eventually. Play, then pass to the person on her left. We don't recommend that you enforce this rule with children or drunk people. They didn't say the drunk people part, I did. So, does everyone feel like that's enough rules to play?
Yeah.
Making sense?
I'm good.
Okay.
Sure.
Why not?
As long as I don't go first, should be good.
Oh, you know we're gonna make you go first.
Tough.
No, actually, if you would like to, I'd love to have you go first.
I see
Since you are-
how it is.
Since you're our guest of honor. I can totally do it, but I don't want to be like, the hog here.
It's your show.
I talk a lot. You guys know I talk a lot. All right, let me see what I got here. I got it.
So is this is my
That's
happy.
yours. Yeah, you should have in mind how you're going to bring this to a satisfying conclusion. All right.
Okay,
Are we ready?
I am ready. Are you ready, Scott?
I am ready.
Okay, in case you are just joining us, this is Weekly Affirmations, the show about indie and freeform games. Today we're playing Once Upon a Time, a storytelling card game that is actually competitive, and we have one of the designers in chat with us today. His name is James. Say hi to James. Make sure to continue to donate and subscribe. We will stop play and we will do an affirmation for you if you're getting bored. And also remember to tweet us with the hashtag GameFeels with a Z. All right, go for it.
All right. Once upon a time, in a land that was foggy, misty, and often rainy, there was an enclave of mystical and magical specialists. They lived.
Thanks for the
Thank
resub,
you.
Fifth Reel.
We have to. We don't have to.
I think that's.
I think resubs deserve
I do.
affirmations
I do.
too, but
I'm
it's
gonna
your
do it.
show.
All right, I'm gonna.
It's your show.
Because it's the same as subbing for the first time. It's even better.
Because they're
yes.
still
For 5 months in a row.
I know. That's
pretty-
dedication.
Yeah.
All right, Fifth Reel. Thank you so much for resubbing. You're a wonderful part of this community. We love having you, and you are a gregarious, abiding gargoyle.
That's pretty good.
Abiding for 5 straight months. That's pretty good. I
think
like
so.
it. That worked.
And he's gregarious, which is totally true.
Yep.
So there's an enclave of magical people.
Yes,
Magical and mystical.
magical mystical specialists. They are living in this foggy, rainy realm along the coast of a deep, dark ocean. They are not generally known to outsiders, although those with similar mystical tendencies know and revere them as holders and keepers of a large mystical library.
All right. So now, I played this card and I've sufficiently interrupted.
It depends.
You have to make your case
Okay.
for interrupting.
So these very wise men, these very wise men and women, these specialists that live on this shore, are greeted by a long lost enemy coming through the fog in the distance.
Who is
On a ship.
disguised as a woman, but is actually a young boy of just 12. and he is on a mission to find vengeance against these very wise magical men because he is actually
a prince. From a foreign land where it is always nighttime. And these mystical, magical people have enchanted this land, he believes, so that it is always nighttime. And so, when he happens upon the cave in which these people are abiding,
he is very frightened because it is glowing on the inside. He's used to darkness, but there's a red ephemeral light that pours out of the mouth of this cave. That is
The mountain that holds the cave frightens the man, which causes him to go insane. Remaining in that cave
and
for weeks at a time.
Which man? I've lost the thread of the story.
It's
Zach,
actually
I
a
think
little
it's
boy.
Zach.
So the little boy,
The little boy.
the little boy,
Okay. The 12-year-old.
the enemy that's come from across. Yes.
Which is why when a rabbit hops by him, he believes that it can talk and tell him his future. The rabbit reveals to him how to undo these wise men who, upon hearing that he has returned to their land, flee the cloister to the king's palace where they think that they will find safety. They're right.
I'm going to interrupt on home. This is the palace, being the home of the king, is
enchanted by evil.
There's evil everywhere!
It's enchanted by evil. And such that... Such that when any two people meet, they instantly fall in love. And falling in love, they... I got it.
Shenanigans!
So does that mean that I take the card back, or just that I lose and
James,
like,
what does
that
it mean?
No.
What does it mean? I think you should have to keep your card.
James is a
But
bit
the cards,
drunk.
the cards were fine. I wouldn't shenanigans the cards. Didn't have anywhere to go with it. But
So I think you would just pass at this point.
yeah,
to
the
next
evil
person.
and the fall in love both still work.
James is praising us. This is a better story than the ones the guys on Tabletop told.
Ooh,
So,
we bring it. We bring
Yeah.
the narrative. Okay, so I'm gonna say it's gonna pass to her left. So
Okay.
you get to start out.
So due to this curse, a beggar and a shepherdess fall in love and take in.
But the beggar is an old man, and the shepherdess is so young that everyone starts gossiping about them, and they are told, pass.
they are forced to meet secretly under a tree one stormy night. But fortunately,
They are very lucky, and no one catches them. And they flee to a tower where they can be alone forever. However, the mother misses the shepherdess very much, and so she still visits them from time to time. The end!
you guys were too fast
Was
for
that
me.
the quickest
Oh, man.
playthrough ever?
Yeah, is that how it is? Is it
Okay,
usually
we're done.
that
We're going
fast?
home. That's the end of today's show.
Some people are more aggressive about interrupting, but I was enjoying your story so much.
So I think we should probably try that again.
So, if you remember, when we were talking about it before, I said that there's a card that you have to bring the story around, and the bad guys get thrown down the well. I was dealt, and so the evildoers are thrown down the well. Now,
dark.
I was trying to figure out how I was going to get the boy and the orphan prince and the tower and how I was even going to get a well in there anywhere.
I was
Stumped
just
me.
about to turn things around to make one of the lovers, but I couldn't remember which was which. One of the lovers was going to be an archmage and cast a spell that eliminated all of the magical and mystical enclave, and with the rival dead, they were married at last.
Oh man.
That's good.
Not before I turned someone into a frog. I was on the
Exactly.
verge, but I
So-
couldn't fit it in there.
So I think I made a mistake, but I played my last 2 cards without really knowing how I was going to my ending. My ending is they thanked the hero who saved them all. So it was going to turn somehow. It was going to come around to they were going to take down.
So you were just
these
gonna kind of
Enclave
like
guys.
spider and wait.
Yeah, well, I guess I was more like I was trying to get to the end, and I was figured, okay, I could spin any way to get to a conclusion, as long as I don't get interrupted fast enough. And then I immediately got interrupted, of course. So it looks like I got to hold on to my cards a little longer.
Yeah. So
I think we need to
People
figure out
do
a
it-
way to slow down.
Yeah, I was thinking of that of spidering and waiting, but I'm not certain without any aspect cards if there's any way to interrupt anymore. Right at that point, I'd basically given up my chance to be a storyteller.
It's true. That is a danger of
Yeah,
throwing down
so
all
I
your
was
cards.
I was way too hasty.
Yeah.
James, go ahead.
James was saying that the Evildoers in the Well ending card is a tribute to the classic 80s storytelling board game Tales of the Arabian Nights, in
Oh.
which many people are thrown down wells.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay.
It's one of my favorite bits.
So here's what I propose for the next round.
All right.
So I say no more lightning rounds. That was fun. That's the quickest I've ever played at RPG. I think.
Done.
All right, let's go.
So I
minutes.
think maybe
That
we
took
can
us
have
10
an
minutes.
accord where we go a little slower, we do a little more detail, and we're a little more judicious in when we want to interrupt with cards. Does that sound good?
Yeah, let's tell an actual story.
Tell a story.
Yeah, how about we can't actually play 2 back-to-back like that? Maybe
Yeah.
that's a good way to slow it down.
Okay, so let's try this again. This is fun. I would want to play
was
this.
The hidden cave.
I kind of like the lightning round though. Like the race to the finish was fun.
That was intense, yo.
Although now
I
we know that anybody
the
could have
adrenaline
just.
is pumping.
Now we know that it would have been very easy though to wait till almost the end and then interrupt, and then you have a lot of time to tell your story. So this is what happens.
Assuming that nobody else
Yes.
can interrupt you.
Yeah, but if
Thanks for giving us a
if you managed to jump in before, we all got rid of almost all of our cards,
Yeah.
you could have just screwed all of us. Would be great.
Yes, that was my
Alright.
strategy all along. Totally
We're
my
this close.
strategy.
Yeah, so this next one has to take about an hour and a half. That last one took 10 minutes.
Not even 10 minutes. That took like 7
No,
minutes.
I'm looking at the clock. It took about 10 minutes.
Okay, and then we need our Ever After cards. One for you, and one for me, and one for you, Nicole, and one for you.
I thought that one said wine on it, and I was wrong.
Now, there is an option that we're not playing with today to write in your own things on your cards, which could be neat, but is not something that I wanted to deal with on the show. So if you do get this game, you'll have your opportunity to write down whatever you want. So you could write down wine if you really wanted to. Or maybe, girl bonding and day drinking. You never know.
Speaking of, when are we doing that again?
It was great.
Soon?
I think we should do it soon. Yeah, we went thrift shopping. It was great.
We did. We didn't actually day drink, though. You guys had tea, and then I had coffee. And
But we could do the day drinking.
I think we should totally do the day
You
drink.
just gotta stop teasing me with this day drinking.
You're
Come
invited to.
too.
Scott, I don't know, you're just kind of
It's women bonding. I don't need to
You're
intrude.
beardy.
Yeah, too much
a little beardy.
beard for women bonding.
Okay, so, I think Scott should go first this time.
Okay.
Third edition's been out for 2 or 3 years, so you were right on that.
Yep.
And has expansions and a bigger box to fit all the expansions in.
Sounds fancy.
Ooh, I would love to hear more about the expansions. And Lady Kaku wants to know if there's going to be a demo of this at PAX. I don't know if you can answer that, James, but it would be cool. There's a lot of people heading to PAX from this channel, and they're going to play some of the games that we've seen here before. So, let me take a look at my cards here. I can get a strategy. Ooh, that's a mean card.
I am a big proponent of dwarven women having beards in mythology. Man with the Yoda shirt says women can have beards also.
That is true. That is
That is
Glorious
true.
dream where I had this luxurious beard and I was looking in the
Wonderful
mirror,
dwarven
stroking it and being like, yes, this beard looks
Rock
great
this.
on me. And then there was this niggling like, there's something wrong. What's wrong?
Whatever, can't be important.
Absolutely nothing. That's what's wrong.
Must not be that important. It's fine.
It's one of those dreams that I remember fondly waking up from and being like, oh yes, my glorious girl beard.
Scott facts. Scott isn't wearing a hat. It's just how his beard looks.
Yeah, the truth is I'm
stylish.
actually bald. That's why I wear the hat, so you can't see the top of my head that I comb the beard all the way up into the hat.
Wrap it
That's
over.
my strategy. Yeah. Yeah.
And then back down again.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember, measured, slow, detailed. We want the glorious details. We want the sensuous details. We want to slow it down.
So, once upon a time, a queen sits in her chamber,
Sorry.
surveying her kingdom, when behind her, she hears the shattering of glass and turns to see that an object behind her is broken. And it is a vase that sits on her bedside table.
I'm going
And
to
as-
interrupt. That object can talk.
Can talk, and as she looks around,
And I'm
sorry,
interrupting. Nice try. It's mine now.
carried away.
So the vase that broke used to hold the soul of the previous queen, because this is a matrilineal kingdom. And the queen gets to her knees and she starts trying to gather up the pieces, and she hears the voice getting fainter and fainter as it's sort of like crying and saying, "No, but I have so much wisdom to pass to you. I can't believe that you are so stupid. What are you doing?" and this disembodied voice is chastising the queen for losing basically her cultural heritage and knowledge as it evaporates into the sky. This is actually her mother. And she begins weeping inconsolably that she has done this terrible taboo thing that is definitely forbidden in her kingdom. It can probably get her excommunicated or even her head chopped off. So she knows that she has to somehow cover this up. So she goes to her champion, who is this very studly looking guy. He's got a golden breastplate. It's kind of like Jaime Lannister, but not with the gross stuff. And gross stuff. And he has this magnificent sword at his side. And this is a kingdom full of magical objects. And you should probably try to interrupt me at some point. And
I was just reading how we're interrupting incorrectly, so
how are we supposed to interrupt James?
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
No, she's buying more time. How are we?
How are we supposed to interrupt James? Because I thought that's how you used an interruption.
Yeah.
But I would love to know if there's a different way to do it. In any case, this sword is also a magical talking sword because there are many objects of magic in this kingdom. And this sword is actually tied to the soul of a demon. And the sword will give good strategic advice.
I think the demon is a monster, right? The demon qualifies as a monster. The
But does it qualify as a character? Because isn't the interrupt that part can also be played
can
as?
also be played
Because I'm
as
sitting
monster.
here looking at
So
but as a monster card, right?
yes,
Yeah.
So
Not
the
as a
monster is
monster
the demon
interrupt.
soul.
the demon.
I see what you're saying.
It's a character. It's fine.
It is still,
Still
a character.
I'm just trying to clarify.
He lives
that.
inside the sword. Go for it.
I'm just trying to
Yes,
clarify.
and.
No, I'm
Yes,
just trying
and.
to clarify how we're supposed to be playing the interrupts to a certain degree.
Yes.
Because I believe that we should try to play the game the right way.
As much as
He's
possible.
he's too drunk to explain it. So
It's fine. Okay.
The interrupts do say may also be played as. So I was thinking in this scenario you're playing it more as the monster card than as
right.
an interrupt card. Right?
It's still a character. The monster is a
Yeah.
character. We're fine.
Didn't we establish that the child, the baby boy of the prince and princess could be a child or a prince? Because
Yes.
So I played it on demon as a monster.
Yes, it's fine. We're totally cool with it.
Okay, just explaining, just making sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Well, now I've got to think of something to say about the monster. So, can you remind me before we got on our rules tangent where
The queen broke the vase that holds the soul of her mother. She went to help to her champion, who has a sword with the demon soul in it.
that gives people advice?
Yes.
The demon soul is actually a monster, a corrupting influence, but the champion does not view it that way. and listens to the voice of this dark creature telling him that the only way for the queen to make this right is to find a king. She must marry and relinquish control of her sacred matrilineal kingdom to a king.
No.
Which is something that breaks the queen's heart, but she's already facing a possible death sentence, so she certainly doesn't want to have her head chopped off. So she sends her champion out into the world to find for her the most effete, unthreatening possible king that he can find.
What is king like?
Well, she wants the champion has in mind like maybe a scholar, maybe a very, very elderly scholar, or perhaps a young a young man who has more interest in painting and poetry than
So like a kept man?
Yes. Where they can work out an arrangement, and the queen can appear to give over control of the kingdom and make right, but not completely put herself out or ruin the matrilineal heritage of her society.
So as she hatches this plan,
Thank you.
It's like, please, I don't want to do it
she
anymore.
hatches this plan. She and her swordsman head out on a quest to find this king. And on their path, they encounter an old woman. And
Like you do.
they say to this old woman, "We are in search of a king, but we need to find one who is properly worthy, right? And we have established properly worthy is not the same kingly we would have thought. We need somebody who will be able to abide by this queen's desires." And the old woman says to them that if they go around asking,
Can you do it in the old woman voice?
if you go around asking for a king, you will get only the kind of people who desire to be king, who desire power, money.
Hyper
Rabbit power go! Rabbit power go!
Emily!
Emily needs an affirmation. Chat needs an animal noise.
Emily, please join us.
Emily.
That was from chat. You have been requested on the floor. Game feels. It's almost time for game feels. It is almost time for game feels. Emily.
Emily.
Hey.
Emily.
Hey.
Intern Emily.
Emily is not an intern.
She was an intern for Green Ronin for a little while.
This is
Do not make me use my intern Emily voice.
She is our community management and PR superhero.
Yes.
She is. She is all grown up now.
Those are
Say,
three titles, by the way.
My title is just community manager. I'm like, no, you own the superhero title.
Yeah. She's
It's
community
yours.
manager, PR, and superhero on its own. That's who Emily is to this channel.
Well, Nicole, how
That's right.
long have you known Emily?
I've known Emily since she was 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Once again, that makes me old.
No, it doesn't. It makes Seattle a really cool gaming city.
The first time I met Emily, her dad had been teaching her to sword fight, and I'm going to continue to tell this story until Emily shows up. Teaching her to sword fight with toy swords, and so she challenged me, and I thought that being a grown woman challenged by a 3-year-old, I should maybe get down on my knees and make it more even. And she nearly beat me to death. She was like, she hit me in the arm. I lost use that arm. Oh no! And I was like, I was seriously fighting. And then we agreed that we had come to an impasse and bowed to each other with our swords. And I was like, "Bitch, your daughter just about beat me." I'm not getting on my knees to make it even ever again.
There you go.
That's fantastic. Emily!
Emily's fierce.
She's not gonna come in and stop me from telling little girl Emily's stories or anything.
There she is.
Emily!
Isaac,
Emily!
Come here.
Oh, am I getting enough?
Yes, you are.
Sorry, I was making coffee.
Oh,
There
you go.
I'm sorry.
So Emily,
Oh, look at that. Everybody was calling you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Everyone's
Sorry.
calling you. So this is from chat.
Thanks,
So
chat.
you can thank chat. So
Thank you.
Emily, you are a wily, bolting goo.
So I should go to Goobs' stream right now.
No,
instead
you
of-
can't. But I would love to hear, because they specifically requested, what a wily bolting goo sounds like. Because I have my
I have
suspicions.
some ideas.
I want to hear yours first.
Okay, I feel like it's something kind of along the lines of. Or maybe I'm more of like a.
Tess is now hosting. Thank you so much,
Oh, thank you,
Tess.
Tess. That's awesome.
Maybe more of a gulp.
A goo?
It's kind of dripping from the ceiling really fast.
So when I imagine a wily bolting goo, it's like a goo who's like, yeah, I got this. So I was like,
That sounds like a dog.
No, I'm thinking corgi, except
does.
much gooier form.
I was thinking something at least bubbly, like.
Mods, can we please get Tessa's link into chat?
yes, please. That's
Thank
your
you guys for
affirmation,
coming
Emily.
over.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you, Emily.
Oh, while we were waiting, I told the sword fighting story.
Oh,
So-
good story. Good
Yeah.
story.
I believe we
People
are, in
know.
fact, also getting rated. So thank you
Oh,
very much.
wow. Thanks for the
Thank
raid,
you,
guys.
welcome.
Thank you for the resub. That means we get to give her an affirmation.
Yay!
what that means.
Affirmation time. Who was it that resubbed? I couldn't see.
Tess.
Oh, it was Tess. Yay! So, Tess, thank you so much
Oh.
for resubbing. Here on Weekly Affirmations, we give affirmations when you donate or subscribe, and they are awesome and hilarious. So, Tess, I wanted to let you know that you are an incendiary, enchanting salamander.
See how things go together
They
so
do.
nicely.
Well, salamanders are actually a magical creature, not just the slimy thing that you find in caves, and they are fire spirits. So incendiary is actually very serendipitous. So thank you guys so much for the raid. In case you are wondering what this is or why you're here, this is Weekly Affirmations, a show about freeform and indie RPGs. Today we are playing Once Upon a Time. One of the designers of Once Upon a Time is in chat with us today. His name is James, so please say hi to him, ask him any questions you may have about the game. He loves answering them because he's also drinking. So
Punk
why
Emma
not?
has also resubscribed.
Who did what?
Punk
Emma.
Emma has also
Oh, Punk Emma!
resubscribed.
Thank you so much for resubscribing, Punk Emma. Guys, your donations and subscriptions keep this channel running. It keeps our show on the air. I love doing this, so thank you so much and keep them coming. All right, Punk Anna. Oh, yes.
Emma.
Oh,
Punk Emma.
Emma, Punk Emma.
I'm
So-
not a punk.
You are a punk. You got green hair.
Not
Anyway,
intentionally.
Punk Emma, you are a victorious, bargaining platypus. So I imagine a victorious bargaining platypus would be like, rah, rah, how much for the tie? Rah, rah, it's $5. Rah, I win. Rah, rah, rah.
Sounds about right.
Victory.
Victory. Bargain victory.
Hello, the guy that said hi. He said, hello, James. Hi, everyone.
Oh, hello,
The guy that
everybody.
said hi.
Hello, hello,
Hello.
all of you new people. It is wonderful to see you in chat. So, shall we continue playing Once Upon a Time?
Where?
Yes,
even
we
where
can
we-
remember.
The queen and her swordsman.
Oh, right, the old lady.
The old lady. The old lady
lady.
says to them, "You cannot find a suitable king if you simply ask for a king. You will bring a man with ego and all kinds of other bullshit you got to deal with." So, and the old woman waves her fingers, and it turns out she's a witch and transforms the queen into a small dwarf woman with a long red beard.
Well, would you say that's a transformation?
Oh, I would say that. What does she transform them into?
She transforms all of them. Oh, I could have done that one too.
You still can, can't you?
into the pages of the book.
Hyper Rabbit Power, go!
Go! Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
Scott needs an affirmation for having such magnificent facial hair.
Okay, so is this for me or for the beard?
It is for you.
Okay.
For you,
because of.
Because of the beard.
of the beard. So, Scott, eye contact. There we go. So, Scott, you are an agreeable, yearning sylph.
Shenanigans.
And in case you don't know, a sylph is an air spirit.
So I guess the sound it would make would be like, I agree.
It'd be like, ah.
I really want to
Yes,
agree.
It's wonderful. Yes.
Yeah.
You got it.
There you go.
And you the beard
Well
is like
done,
waving.
Jess.
And everything.
The beard waves in the wind.
We're completely serious here on Weekly Affirmations. All games, all the times, all seriousness.
So she turns them all into the pages of a book. The pages of a book which she then takes, and she takes it with her, hides it within her cloak, and goes on her way, keeping them hidden and secret. Oh wait, secret. Unintentional card play. And she knows that in order to enact her villainous plan, one might even say, to continue with her trap, she must take them on a long, long voyage far away from this queendom, so that it may fall into disrepair. And since she is eternal, she will come back later and rule it. So this is her plan, and keeping them in the pages of a book, she goes on this long voyage. She goes over the land, over the sea, in a boat.
She's tricky.
Boy, Ayana.
On this long, long journey, and finally, she goes up into a tower, and she sets this book on a pedestal, much like the pedestal that vase used to be on. Right there, under an open window.
Do something! Somebody do something!
I want to.
And she has to wait for a long, long time
Wait, is that?
to be able to,
I'm going to play my interrupt to the item.
Your item window.
She waits.
That's how you do it. We
So
figured it
yeah, I
out.
think that's right. So the interrupt is for the item, and the bottom. Yeah. So do I then have to play the interrupt as? Do I have to introduce a gift on the card? So just the item. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
James says, Kingdom, Queendom, it's all good as long as there's a dumb.
He has been drinking.
James has been drinking.
Thank you, James.
oh dear.
You were saying.
You heard that from the designer first, folks.
We're not even drunk yet.
So, up this old witch lives up in this tower, long enough for legend to spread of an old witch in a tower. And when legend spreads of old witches in the tower, legends are manufactured of great riches also in that tower. So a hero comes one day.
Would you say that's an event?
I would say that's an event.
While she is there dreaming, waiting for her time, the hero comes, but he is repelled by a great dragon waiting outside.
And that's when someone is hurt. and the hero is burned alive. But now there's a dragon here, so we're gonna focus on that.
But the dragon is really stupid. 'Cause the card says stupid, guys. I'm not making it up. He's not like a mystical D&D dragon who's really smart. He's literally
off the rails.
just a lumbering beast who likes to eat things. So the dragon eats the hero, which is very, very unfortunate. He probably
That one
wouldn't have made
hurts.
a good king anyway,
And
because
so,
he's too strong.
between the dragon
Well,
and
now
the
it's
witch,
between the dragon and the witch, right?
they looked after that
No!
book until she was old enough.
No! No!
Oh, it's
but-
good.
But she had the.
Oh, that's right. You don't have a device to stake the story.
I can't do anything else with this card.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
That's
So you take that card, and you take.
See, now that's how she gets.
Oh,
Now
look at
she
that.
gets a card.
So you get a
now
card
you're
by
back in the
calling
game.
shenanigans. Okay.
There.
All right.
It's actually
We've
clever.
solved this.
Okay.
This is all good.
So the witch and the dragon battle, and
That's a fight.
It is a fight.
damn it,
Oh,
go
goodness.
on.
But their battle is an eternal struggle. An eternal struggle where they fight onward and onward, both of them looking after it until she was old enough.
Shenanigans!
I don't know. I kind of think that's actually a really good. That I don't know. I might have to shenanigans. I love the idea of their battle protecting something.
I can
actually.
keep that going and actually
that's
make
pretty
it less
good.
shenanigans if you really want, but it's
All right,
only
let's
$4:15.
hear your narrative defense.
So they fight, and they each keeping an eye out on this tome, looking after it until she was old enough, gaining strength, as both dragons and witches do as they age. Both of them gaining strength so that the fight is ever eternal, but eventually she gains enough strength. She overcomes the dragon when she is old enough, and then goes on and takes over the queendom, whatever, as long as it's got a dom, apparently.
There you go. All right.
I will accept that.
Yeah, I think that's good.
I think that's good.
It's that, or we can keep going
We can make them fall in love.
and then fall asleep.
And then she can cook him.
Yeah, I had fairies and poison and all sorts of good stuff. I just could not
Oh man.
get in there.
And there's a river card holding me down the whole time.
Oh, the
The
river.
funny thing is, we started off really, really strong with
Yeah.
drawing it out, and then we let
we're like-
our competitive urges get the better of us, and it started
Yeah.
being like boom, boom, boom again.
So I would be interested in James's opinion on how to keep the competitive edge from
Yeah.
curtailing the game. That would be a very interesting design mechanic influence that I would like to hear your opinion on, James. So it is about that time. We're gonna read some Game Feels tweets.
All right.
So
Game field.
with a Z.
No, silly Sonny, that was not me. That was me quoting James. You can't give that one to me.
Okay, these are the cards.
There have been plenty of things that I have said today that you can quote. That one's not me.
That is true. Okay, so you guys, you play with chat while I look up the tweets.
Sorry, James. Nightbot is a bit of a butt, and it doesn't let non-subscribers post links in chat, but the moderators can give you permission or copy and paste as
Please do,
the
moderators.
Fixed Master just
So
did.
you can
So,
find out where to buy and click on the link, right?
sorry about that, James.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we want you to buy the game.
Yeah,
It is
definitely. A
fun.
bunch of people have
I'm gonna
got
run
it.
out and get it like right now. This was awesome.
You don't have it already? God.
I know.
God, you're so uncool.
Well, I've got to get my shit together. It's the plan.
All right, let's see what we have in store today. Okay, so this one comes from Scott/Vicoli.
That's me.
Yeah, Mel, go ahead and
What did
reg
you say?
him.
That was just me saying, hey, tune in soon before the
Okay.
show started. Yeah.
Game Feels. All right, then we have one from JP Beltran, and I can actually say that right because it's my last name too. Who
Which is
knew?
funny because you never say a frithiel right.
If it's real.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, you just said two
You did
different
say
things.
it differently, both.
Yeah, it's a frithiel.
If it's real. Anyway,
But that said, I probably cannot pronounce his actual name properly.
which is
So we're
Beltran.
even.
It's Beltran. Get a roll the eye. So,
Is this
if it's
is this-
real.
Zelda music? Are we now listening to the final fight music? I
can't tell anymore.
An early Zelda? I don't even know.
Nope.
No,
not
what
Zelda
was
music.
it? It was fight music for something.
Now we're
I don't
doing Zelda.
recognize it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Write an essay, James. Write an essay, put it up online.
That's what he's doing!
So our first Game Feels tweet is actually Strix fact. When Liam Neeson gets taken, he calls the Strix Game Feels Strix facts.
Good one.
I think that one's pretty funny. Final Fantasy IX Master says, I think Ryan forgot his glasses today and stole one of Zach's shirts in Game Feels. So Zach was impersonating Ryan, who, it's a joke. I'm not good at jokes.
I got that from the dancing.
Toadcoder says, Game Feels, I would like to affirm Anna Bananas, Gaming Cabana, also Anteaters, also Ads Technology, also Cunning. It's all your fault.
It wasn't my handwriting.
Hopefully we don't pull the Anteaters card today. I think it needs a rest. You have not heard the Anteater sound, right?
I have not heard the
Okay,
Anteater
good.
sound. Not
That's
live,
good.
at least.
I want to hear the Anteater.
You've heard the Anteater sound before, Anna. You've heard it. It's the destruction of all things. Final Fantasy IX Master also says, 3 things I love this week. Thunderstorms, yes. Overcoming adversity in the Ark with As Technology, also really cool. And taking walks without phones? But why would you do that when you could hatch your Pokemon?
Where's your
Wait,
motivation?
who was that one?
That was Final Fantasy IX Master.
Excellent. Well done. Thank you.
Peanut Butter and Jelly says, which by the way, that's actually PWJB. I just call him Peanut Butter and Jelly. He knows that. All my people in the chat and on screen, your intricate, glistening okapis. Aww. That
Love
one's really
okapis.
good. Game Feels. And then finally, the Strix. You're all blissfully beautiful bandicoots. That's for you guys too. You're bandicoots.
Nice.
Thank you guys so much for these Game Feels tweets. They are super awesome this week. Keep them coming. We're not done yet. We'll read them again at the end of today's show because we'll actually have time for once, I think. So keep doing it. Hashtag Game Feels with a Z, not an S. Keep them coming. We'll do this again at the end of the show. Thank you for your tweets. So, how do you guys think the game is going so far?
Well, I've been laughing, so that
Yeah.
usually signals fun.
Yeah.
That's good. Is it different from the way you've played it before?
No.
No?
Perhaps a little less filthy, actually.
Really?
But that's just
All right.
my peeps.
I worry that we're not playing it right because it's going so quickly, but at the same time, I think, okay, that's not a thing I want to say on camera, for the benefit of my career.
Okay.
No, I'm interested in ways to make it longer.
How do we keep it on rails?
See, that's something you can quote.
Really?
There you go.
Really?
That guy that said hi is a Fred Computer. Thank
Oh,
you
thank
for
you
being
for
a Fred
hurting
Computer
us.
and following.
So you were saying?
But ways to stretch the game out and make it longer and maybe a little less competitive. And yeah. Also, I am a big fan of cooperative games. I don't very often get to play games with my fiance because they pretty much have to be cooperative because we're just very, very
Or there will
different.
be blood?
Well,
James says 10-15 minutes is pretty standard.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it?
So
Yeah.
we're
We're not
not
doing it wrong.
failing.
okay.
Good.
Oh, we might be doing it wrong, but we're having fun, so we're not doing it wrong.
Okay, perfect.
So
Nevertheless, it would still be cool to figure out a way to make it a longer,
Oh, I think
more cooperative storytelling arc.
What if we switch it around and do tag-ins? Do you know what I mean? So you've gotten to a place, you're storytelling, and you're like, I'm kind of out of ideas, or I want to hear what someone else would say, and you tag people in. And we can go until the story feels like it's finished, instead of trying to win. We're gonna break your game on live television, James. Does that sound okay to everybody?
No, we're developing an expansion
There
for
we go.
this game.
A cooperative expansion.
Yes. We're not breaking it, we're
Oh,
developing a cooperative expansion.
Believe me, if it has any viability, Atlas Games would consider making it official.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind.
it's a lot of pressure.
All right,
Right?
swap this stream over to creative, and it's on.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Okay, so we're gonna make this a cooperative game now instead of a competitive game. And we're gonna see if it works.
So for a cooperative game, can I suggest that we have a single happily ever after that we're all moving towards?
Yeah, if we have one
I think that
conclusion to aim for.
Yeah, that would enable you to be on the same page more.
And then we're jumping in not to help ourselves, but to help each other get to this thing. We could also add an aspect, maybe like we all have to get rid of all of, or at least almost all of our cards.
Yeah.
So that all of the different things we get have to play into this story.
Yep. I agree. I think that
Without telling each other what each other's cards
So
are.
that's the mystery, is we don't know how to help each other out, and so we have to we'll just keep saying random
I
nouns
like it.
until one of them can jump
There
in.
we go. Game made. Game design is so
All right.
easy, guys. It's
Yeah,
so easy.
God.
Nicole's like,
It helps when you
Your
start out with a
degree-
spectacular game.
So hang on. Your degree is in mythology, but you do game design.
Yes.
You do game design or development
have,
to some
have,
degree.
yes.
I have a degree in game design. What are you doing here?
I studied sound editing. I just read a lot of comic books, and then people
All right.
asked me to be on
Storytelling.
geeky things. That's
It's
all.
perfect.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
So-
I write comic books. So
got
there you
life
go.
experience.
Storytelling.
Yeah. So the point is, I think we're a pretty good random bunch of people to throw together to make an expansion for this game. I think it'll work.
It's almost like I've worked in the industry for 26 years.
I know, right? It's like you're a veteran or something. It's
Weird.
It was my idea. I'll just throw my experience down on the table, though.
Yes. Strix fact. Oh, this is a good one. A young girl asks herself, how can I instill the power of myth into the masses? At that moment, an owl came crashing through her window, and thus the legend of Strix was born.
That's a pretty good one.
That's a pretty good one. All right, so game designers, do we think we maybe want to lessen the cards a little bit then, to maybe like 5 or something? Because we have to use all of them now.
I think that's a good starting point.
Okay.
He eats people with his arm every Monday.
Okay, so we're gonna pick one happily ever after card, and we're just gonna all know it in the beginning. And it is, and the flames rose higher, and the evil place was destroyed. So this is the ending where we're now all working towards together, because we have suddenly decided it's a cooperative game. We're not allowed to see each other's cards. We are trying to tell the story together, which means we do have to still say the words that connect to the card, right? So, let's see if we can do this. Anna, do you want to start us off? Miss, I have a degree in game design.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
There better not be any nerve herders here. No nerve herders.
In a galaxy far, far away, there was a wild land full of mystical creatures and inhabited by no known civilizations.
You're not really helping us
I know,
much.
like, make it hard, why
Got a
don't
lot
you?
of things that are in civilization.
We have another hour to kill!
Well, we're good. We're off to a start.
Please continue.
You threw me off my rhythm.
Sorry.
Incoming Jar Jar. Yeah, no intelligent life. No. Inhabited by no known civilizations. However, a comet came and magical comet began its orbit around this world.
Ooh, I think I can do something here. Okay, so the magical comet left a trail in the sky that they called the God's Road. Card's Road. And in the God's Road, the uninhabited land shined because of the light that was refracting off of the dust, which it looks like magic from here.
Science!
Science and magic are the same thing. But slowly,
Just because you have an hour to kill doesn't mean this play has to last an hour.
exactly. We'll see. So the dust from the God's Road falls to this uninhabited land, and within this dust is something that is alive, and it is sentient. And there are actually more than one of them. There are many of these creatures. And so they called them the God Road's Travelers. They call themselves that, the God Road's Travelers, which in their language is like, zip, zip. I don't know where I'm going with this. Someone please help me.
So one of these God's Road's travelers is a young thief.
There we go.
So this young thief runs around trying to basically steal anything that it can. However, this new civilization or this new species that has just arrived on this wild, faraway land is devoid of possessions. So the spirit of the thief and the lack of possessions creates the first village, where the thief builds a house and thinks, I can sell people these rooms even though they belong to me, and then they have to leave later, and then I can do it again every day. And the first inn is created, the God's Roads Inn.
That's actually pretty cool. So he's really just established society by
Yes.
having a need to have possessions.
That means to
steal
have
them.
possessions, he
that
needed
he
a
can
reason to
steal.
have people give them to him.
Okay,
Yep.
I can jump in here. Thanks to the God's Roads Inn, the village grows into a little town because.
There's a little chapel.
Go ahead.
Keep going.
You can't interrupt me and then give it back. You can't do that. No. Shenanigans.
Cooperative, not competitive. You can do it.
People, other travelers, other God's Roads travelers decide to congregate in this town, forming their own little cliques and groups, and building and creating and stealing from and and sometimes tricking, depending on their characteristics. The others in the town, to the point that the spot on this otherwise uninhabited, barren, uncivilized planet starts to grow and glow and become almost like a beacon, escaping the planet through its brightness that is congregated in this one area. And I hope someone can jump in here, because otherwise we're going to have beautiful queens and
I've got it. Okay.
flying staircases.
So this beacon is a natural outpouring of these creatures' beings, if they have souls, their souls, because they're actually a lost tribe from very, very, very far away, from the other side of the galaxy, and they are looking for their brethren out among the stars. So now that they've set up this society here, they are now signaling to the rest of the universe, hey, we're here, come find us, we're alone. Please find us, we're lost. And this goes on for centuries, and there's never any answer. No one comes to find them. And as their society grows and becomes more complex, they start fracturing into different tribes with different versions of who they are and different versions of where they came from. And so one of these tribes that breaks off moves to the other side of the planet, and we'll call them the Road Enders. And the Road Enders believe that the people who want to return to the fold are cursed. And they start a holy war. Anyone jump in?
Almost. Go ahead.
If you're good.
I don't have anything
This
good.
is weak.
No.
All right.
No.
This begins in a chapel as one of their religious leaders is stirring them up a little more than intended. They stir them up in righteous anger against the other tribes, and they rise up to go to war. And this war, of course, they're on the other side of the planet now. This war will take them on a very, very long journey.
Journey card.
Journey card. Back across the entire expanse of this once wild, now nearly tamed planet. This tribe, I can go through these cards if you guys need me to. This tribe gathers their might until they are very strong.
So James just rejoined us, and he has no idea what's going on.
What's happening?
So we decided to break a game and make it a co-op game instead. We're all trying to now work towards the same ending together. We're just seeing if it works. So far, it's been pretty fun. Sorry. Not sorry.
So this tribe gathers their might until they are very strong. And if anybody can chime in at any point,
I just have to get rid of some cards.
no,
so.
The leader of this army is a witch, a warrior witch, who leads this strong army against the group by the Roads Inn, still calling themselves God's Roads Travelers. But this group that has not splintered off has been fortifying around this beacon, has only made themselves even stronger. And so they defeat the witch and put her in their prison.
Wait, who defeats the witch?
The God's Roads Travelers.
Okay. So the original sort of...
Yes, the original civilization. They defeat the witch, the leader of the Road Enders, and throw her in prison.
What is this prison like?
This prison is underneath their own chapel, as this is a religious war that has been created. So it is down actually with the crypt. So you go down and there's some dead bodies and there's some prisoners down there because we figure we'll just throw them all down in the same place.
They'll be dead eventually.
Oh, see, look at that. They'll be fine. They'll be dead eventually. Yes, that is why I always drink out of bottles and cups with lids, because I am clumsy.
I really want to get all of our hosts and all of
Sippy
our
cups.
crew, just water bottles with lids on them, with everybody's name on them, things like that. But
That'd be good.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Chat, make it so.
And so in this witch in this crypt / prison sees that this is clearly the only secure location in this civilization, because she also sees it is where they keep their hoard of treasure they use to develop their worlds.
What is their treasure like? What do they consider to be treasure?
Their treasure is mostly what? It is
I've had like 5 opportunities to get rid of this card, and I'm fighting the urge to win.
You don't win
There
until
is
we
no
all
win.
do it.
I know, but that's why I'm holding on to it and I haven't played it yet. That's all I'm saying.
this treasure. So it is the civilization. They already have plenty of gold. Their civilization basically shines. So it is primarily functional materials, rocks and stones, the kind of things you can make buildings out of, the kind of things you can make weapons out of. They're not a civilization that needs luxury. They're simply a civilization that needs. And so their treasure are the things that will allow them to expand.
So, Switch got locked away.
Next to the treasure.
Yes, the witch got knocked away next to the treasure as she sits there and thinks of all the things she can do with it, but can't because she's behind this gate as she grows older and more weary and more disfigured. It becomes your basic image of your grumpy old witch with warts and a big nose and curly hair down there. She sits under there so long people forget why she was there. So much so that one day, some guards come down and have a discussion. Why would this witch be here? Why is she in prison? Hey, Hyper Cargo! Sure.
Hashtag water bottle fund. Can we hack the game with an affirmation matrix generated character?
Absolutely. So, thank you, Fifth Reel, because now we have to deal with this in the game.
No, I love this. I wish we had started the game. This is a great idea.
So, at Fifth Reel, you are a speedy, blinking panda. And now there's a panda in the game.
So the witch is sitting there thinking, why is she locked? Or they're
So these 2 guards go down. One of them, named Frithriel, thinks to this. Oh, why is this witch here? Why would this be here? And then she turns one of them into a speedy, blinking panda. As one guard sits there, looking at his friend, who is now adorable.
Incredibly beautiful.
Yes.
It's the most beautiful creature he's ever seen, and he cannot believe
Beautiful card.
it.
Awesome.
Play beautiful.
All right, take it on.
This giver of beautiful, cuddly, speedy pandas we're going to call it a panda, and it's beautiful and speedy. It should clearly not be locked up in the dungeon. This has to be some sort of tragic error or mistake. In fact, the witch is very happy that the two guards have taken this to be a good sign. The panda doesn't really have anything to say about it, but doesn't seem to be, it's like, hey, panda.
Very fast panda, though. Very speedy.
So the witch begins to spin a tale of her own. I'm so glad that you found me. Clearly, you are the chosen people. Otherwise, my guardian Speedy Panda could not have appeared before me in this way. I am the princess of the lands. I have been unjustly imprisoned here, cursed to this horrible form by the evildoers above. Please allow me to leave and gather my people so that I can break this curse that's upon me. And the guards then, very speedily do as she says, and they use newfound Speedy Panda as a distraction, while second guard hastens the witch/princess to a nearby cottage. I played the cottage card, where she is going to be secreted away until they can figure out what to do with her to restore her place.
Got it. It's a very ugly cottage. It is a ramshackle piece of bad things cottage. It's old, it's got rats in it, there are spider webs, and the witch, who is now pretending to be a princess, is very offended by this, because if she's gonna act like a princess, she's gotta kind of bring it. So she's like, this is not acceptable for a princess with a totem panda who is clearly here to demonstrate my numinosity. I cannot believe that you would do this to me. I shall place a curse upon you. And then she returns to her witch form, like a Maleficent, just like the body splits open, and then the witch body comes out of the middle, and she's all like, I have you now.
You dumb guard. You idiot guard.
And she actually captures the guard that came with her, and she puts him in a stew, and she eats him.
In her kitchen. I have a kitchen card.
Excellent. Go for it.
No, that's all I had to say, because I have a kitchen card.
Yo, you gotta keep going now. You have
But now you
Tell the story or you can't play it.
I know. So she puts him in a stew. It is the most rejuvenating food she's had in the decades and decades that she has been trapped, and by eating this man's essence in her stew, she regains much of her power, and kind of drunk with power, she begins casting spells. She reconstructs the cottage. She fixes the ramshackleness, the whoosh, the ceiling is fixed. There's a nice comfy bed for her, and she sets about making a crystal ball. She starts gathering sand so that she can form a crystal ball, so that she can call her followers from the other side of the planet, and tell them that she is ready. She has infiltrated the heart of this the so-called God Path followers, and now is the time for them to strike.
It's time to destroy the gods' road.
Good cards left.
Somebody.
I'm out.
Okay.
Oh, good. Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna say that this crystal ball can fly.
Perfect.
And so it rises up into
Magically,
the air
right?
magically,
Yes.
and she creates it. And it's this big purple sphere. It's like this lavender color that's kind of swirly. And it rises up, and then it just shoots, like Hancock in the movie Hancock, through the sky, to the other side of the world. And the crystal ball appears, and it's been hundreds of years since anyone has heard from this person. She was supposed to go and conquer the God's Roads people. And the God's End people have evolved into almost a cult. They have giant pyramids now. They're kind of like the Mayan step pyramids. And they will actually sacrifice each other for power, because much like she discovered, when you eat the essence of another God's Roader, you become much more powerful. And so the elite of the society are now eternally young. And some of them actually do remember her, but they don't want their power disrupted. So, yes.
They get set about crafting a magical artifact. A key.
Ooh.
They craft a key that will unlock the comet that is still in orbit around this planet. And they, through all of their might and all of their sorcery, they pull together all the power they can muster, and they craft this key and they use it. Oh no. And it unlocks the power within the comet, which comes crashing down, and the flames rise higher and higher until this evil place is destroyed.
Oh,
I am completely satisfied with that ending.
Awesome.
Yes.
That is a satisfactory ending.
The birth and death of a civilization.
Here,
Brought
on
to you by Weekly Affirmations.
Stardust to cults to comet death.
Death by comet.
Wow.
Oh, solid callback to the comet. That was great. That was awesome.
That was like kind of like a
I'm like,
screwed-up
how
version
am
of
I gonna
Microscope.
make this horrible evil place all rise? Oh, all right. I got this.
That was a good ending. I actually really
good.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so game design time. What do we think about how that went? I felt there was some like awkward points in there. I don't know. What do you think, Nicole?
The like tag in is still up to each individual person's ability to be creative and jump in, which is why I have a handful of cards and you guys are mostly out. That is going to be a dynamic that will see
Rabbit Power go!
Thank you.
Oh, Scotty Scott.
Please affirm Scott #game feels #comic hype #set or #crup.
Oh, you're in for it, Scott.
I saw a picture of this.
So that was from 4am Critter. Thank you so much for the donation. Nizio Scott, you are a nice purring owl.
Nice purring owl.
It happens. I've seen it.
Now I'm gonna put you on the spot, Scott.
Trying to like whoo and like purr at the same time. There you go. You look lovely today.
Anna, what does it
very
actually
nice
sound
owl.
like? You've seen this.
It was closer to your first kind of feeling because
Oh, Hyper Rabbit Power
Go!
Aw.
Please affirm Nicole #game feels #greenroan and #cedar -crup.
Oh, Nicole.
it was being pet with a little pom pom on a stick, and it was
Yeah.
every time you pulled the stick away, it would grab it and make a noise. Yeah, it was
That's
very
awesome.
Cute. It was very, very cute.
So Nicole, thank you 4am Critter for affirming our guests. That makes them feel really included and awesome. So thank you again. So Nicole, you are an elegant, amusing musk ox.
Yes, I am.
Girl, what does an elegant, amusing musk ox sound like? Yes, it does.
Doesn't it?
Does,
It totally
yes, it does. Oh, yes. I think that's the best muck ox. I can never say musk ox unless I say it really slowly. Musk ox that we've had on the show.
Awesome.
Yes.
Weekly Affirmations, where you hear the maiden cries of animal species.
Absolutely. That is 100% correct.
So as I was saying, I think that is a dynamic that's going to play through unless there's
How do we design around
there's
that?
some sort of mechanic to prevent or support the person who's...
I think that's a little bit part of the fun, though.
Well, I was thinking if we each had a hand and cards in front of us. So there are cards in front of us that would say, hey, you have that card, it's your turn now. You know, like that would allow us to lead the story towards somebody's cards, but not all of their cards. So then their goal would be to use the cards that are in their hand
To get to the...
while they're telling the story. You know, based on the cards that so I could be sitting here looking at the cards in my hand compared to these cards, knowing that somebody would at some point try to tie into one of my cards, and then I would be able to play things out.
Yes, you get to be the official Must Awesome Green Ronin Publishing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like I was finding myself towards the end of mine when I was out of cards, basically just like I'm just gonna keep on talking until I say something that just happens to do with one of the cards on the table. So somebody will do something like that, which can be fun. And I was saying that's part of the fun of it, but there's a point at which it just becomes exhausting. Right. And I'm also the kind of guy where I'm a writer, so I'm just like this is fun to me. Just keep talking, and keep talking.
Yeah.
So I'm always on camera. I love talking.
But some players
having something
need
to aim
structure.
for is useful, because otherwise it just becomes basically go fish with storytelling. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing that we're designing for, right? Is there are many different kinds of players who play RPGs.
So this is a position I find myself in a lot when I'm playing, and it's one of the reasons why when I role play, I am not the like does a funny voice and is improvising and stuff. I'm not very good at it. I have this pattern that I go into where I'm trying to be smooth and convincing, and then I have to say, and by the way, my communication score is 18, so please understand that this where I have just offended the king, it wasn't really offensive. That's just my personal physical inability to do this.
The perpetual
Power go!
This
Yes,
channel
Astro
is amazing. Thanks for the great times.
Thank you, Astro Zombie. That is an awesome
I like
donation.
this one.
And hold that thought.
Yeah.
So, Astro Zombie, this is so perfect for you. You are Hyper Rabbit Power Go! Anna, okay, we'll get you next. So,
Also in, please hashtag game feels, hashtag geek fleet, hash set or dash crub.
absolutely 4am Critter, we'll go to Anna in just a second. So, Astro Zombie, was it?
Yes.
Astro Zombie. Astro Zombie, you are a clever, glittering dragon.
I think that is the noise that a clever glittering dragon makes, actually.
Yeah.
That affirmation type noise.
Yep.
It's good.
Much unlike the stupid dragon that we had in the last game.
Poor guy.
All right, next one is for you, Anna, from 4am Critter. Yes. So, Anna, are you ready for this one?
Well, I can already see it, so
I
I
know.
better be.
Anna, you are a cooperative, misbehaving octopus. A misbehaving octopus who is also cooperative.
I think that's pretty accurate. I'm very cooperatively misbehaving. So, we were saying that that's the perpetual issue in role-playing games, really, is it's like, well, I have an intelligence of 18, but I don't have an intelligence of 18.
Right.
I am not Mr. Charisma.
Yeah.
I want to play Mr. Charisma.
Yeah.
Hyper Rabbit Power Go! Oh, now you're pushing your luck.
Can we get Zach to come back
Please
out here?
affirm Zach, hashtag game feels, hashtag real producer, hash set or dash crub.
He deserves all the naps.
Yes, so Zach is not feeling the best. Last I saw him, he was napping, and then he ran out here, and he ran back. So
And
if he's-
pretended to be Ryan.
Pretended
which
to be Ryan.
used up all of the energy he had been storing up all week.
all week.
Or
Gone.
trying to store up.
So if Zach is around, he will pop up pretty much right now, and if he's not, I don't think he's going to. But we can always screen cap, send it to him on Twitter. Sure, he'd appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, especially at this point. Okay. So Zach, wherever you are, I know we're close by. You are a quaint, scintillating Kelpie. Which is about right, because, Kelpies try to seduce people into the water.
Sure.
I just can't really imagine Zach that way. No offense to
I
Zach.
can't really imagine Zach as any of those. Except maybe scintillating because I think of like glittery. When I think of scintillating in this context, I think of shimmering kind of, and I could totally see him doing that because I've seen some horrible pictures of that.
I've seen the one with the suits.
That's the one I'm talking about, I think.
The bodysuit.
Yeah. Well, no, okay, not that. The one with the bodysuit that's short shorts and open like down to here.
Oh no, I didn't see that. Do not tweet that at me.
It's definitely tweet that at her. Yeah. I know some of you know what picture I'm talking about. It's like in black and white, like a modeling style picture, and definitely tweet
now
that at
I'm
her.
gonna not sleep tonight. That's great. So speaking of glittering and dragons and stuff, you know the D&D board game Wrath of Ashardalon? Anybody?
I love that game.
Thank you, Joe. So for some reason, when I hear the word Ashardalon, I think like glittery, sparkly, shardy dragon. Like I don't know how I get glitter from the word Ashardalon, but I do. And so I remember the game's name is like Wrath of Sparkle Dragon instead of Wrath of Ashardalon. Now you know. Anyway, moving on. So how do we design, Nicole, for players who need that propping up?
That is, it's the eternal challenge of game design, really. And I am always in favor of letting me roll. That's just allow me to roll or play a card, have a mechanism that's like, okay, well, so everybody has to play one card before a second person can play. Something like that, so that I know it's coming up and it's going to be my turn and there's an opening and I'm going to have to, I don't know, something like that might work. Yeah, I don't know.
I still like that. We could do that. I like the turn-based thing where instead of, like finding out which one of your cards you're going to jump in with, figuring out a way like how do I incorporate one of my cards after this has been played, and finding your route to yours, and then as the game goes on towards the end of it, it's like, all right, I have one card. How am I going to get from ugly to dragon, or something like that? That could be fun.
So why don't we amend our rules, play one more time, and then we can have some additional discussion about game design, because it's a good day to have it, because Nicole's the bomb, and James is here. And
he's still here.
And thank you, Doc, for following.
Doc, thank you for following.
Yeah. We're all friends here. So why don't we say it's now turn-based?
Okay. I'll stop playing with the cards.
So
I mean, we can try and build like a little card house if you'd rather, but it doesn't seem very on point for the show.
No. So I'm bad at some types of play, and one type of play is the spontaneous play with kids with the dolls and things. I'm very bad at that.
So am I.
So when my daughter would want to play Polly Pockets, I would line up Polly's shoes in her little house, and I would hang Polly's clothes on hangers. And that's how I played Polly Pockets with her. So when I am uncomfortable about what I'm going to be doing, I'll start
organizing things. Just be like, alphabetical order.
Yes. Oh, do you have a big pile of dice? Well, I'm uncomfortable now. I'm just going to sort these dice into pretty piles. All the 12s are over here. All the 20s are here. Yeah. So, caught on film for everyone to see.
Yay!
We're
all about exploring boundaries here in Hyper RPG. So, in case you are just joining us, welcome to the show.
Inventory management. Yep.
This is Weekly Affirmations, a show about indie and freeform games. Today we have guests Scott, Nicole, and Anna. I am the host Strix, and we are playing Once Upon a Time, sort of. We're sort of playing it.
We're breaking it.
We are breaking
it right now.
Which is what we love doing as game designers. One of the original designers of the game is in chat right now. His name is James. Please say hi to James, ask him questions. It's rare that you get to have one-on-one interactions with designers of games, so take advantage of it. And also, throughout the show, if you have something interesting to say, or you have a feeling you want to share, definitely tweet us with the hashtag GameFeels with a Z. And also, anytime you donate or subscribe, you get an awesome affirmation, as you have seen, from me, and usually there are animal noises that accompany it. So, we are now in the middle of hacking this game, because we just felt like it in the middle of the show. This was not planned. So what we're going to do now is continue to try to make it a cooperative game. And we're gonna now try to do it in sequence. So let's just say from left to right, we'll go in a circle here. And you can look at the next person's Hyper Rabbit Power go! Ooh, I get one! I get one! Yay!
Anna, please affirm the Strix hashtag GameFeels #set or --group #glitter.
Why is that a 3 but it's green?
It's green. It's supposed to be a 1. I have brain problems.
Don't we all? All right, Strix, you are a. You are an. I don't even know how to pronounce it. An adroit.
Adroit.
Adroit. Thundering caterpillar. An adroit, thundering caterpillar.
Yeah, so it's like a really big fat caterpillar. And he's just like ba-dum, ba-dum,
Yeah,
ba-dum,
it's like
ba-dum.
kind of a rampaging sort of like. Yeah, now I can get.
I know we keep going back to Dune, but like one of the worms from Dune is just like and thundering.
So clearly, for the
You were
record,
at school
anybody
with Boris
from
Johnson?
my
Oh,
community
you're gonna have to talk to
that's
us.
watching, this is
Really?
what sitting on my leg looks like.
I'll send you
Just
an
so you
email.
know.
What is even happening? It's the one now. There we go.
Brilliant. I love it. So I think we have to start this story with a thundering caterpillar.
Okay.
All right.
So the story starts with a thundering caterpillar.
Because if I may say, I
Yeah.
think that any gratuities or subs that come in and give us an affirmation matrix, we should
Just
write
go in.
that into the
Excellent.
story.
But yeah, after the panda worked so well. Legitimately, I think it worked so well. We should keep doing this.
Yes.
So we're going from left to right, and let's say we'll have one card on deck that the person in front of you is working towards, and you're working towards getting into the Segway too. Do you think that would work?
Sure.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm willing to try anything.
See, I was gonna do
The very hungry
3 in
caterpillar,
front of
I thought
us
of
and
that.
4 in our hand.
I like that. So you have a bank of easier things you can go to, and then you can
Well, we have
decide to
5 cards.
build it as you want.
So we want to say we want to expose 2, maybe?
Well, no, I was even thinking that we go back to 7 cards total.
Oh, okay.
With
We
some
can do that.
face-up cards, we could definitely do it
With
faster.
some face-up cards,
Okay.
so we'll put 2 at random, and then we can choose one of the cards in our hand. Okay,
So these 2 that we've been given will be face-up.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright.
so there's 2 that are face up,
And then
2 that are face-up.
I got Kingdom.
I
and
have-
others that are face down.
I have a rescue and sleeping, and then we choose one from our hand that can also be face-up.
Okay. What do you have, Nicole?
I have People Part Company and Crown.
I have stolen, something is revealed, and I'm also going to use a deck.
I have Kingdom. Time passes, and I'm going to add Giant.
Excellent. So let's find out what ending we're working towards here as well. Where did our ending cards go? There's
Are these ones?
Oh, yes. Okay, so the ending we are working towards is, and she was reunited with her family.
Good for her.
I'm going to add food out of my hand.
Okay.
That seems like one we can work in, huh?
Uh-huh.
And Anna, what's your third one?
Stepmother.
Ooh, okay.
Classic.
Is that Ice Queen? It's one Ice Queen. Hello, one Ice Queen. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so we are starting with a caterpillar that is thundering around. We are aiming towards, and she was reunited with her family. And I think I'm the only person who hasn't gone first yet, so I will do that now that all of my guests have gotten their shining time.
Oh.
Okay. So we begin with a hunt. So in this mystical land that we are playing in, there is a civilization
Don't forget the caterpillar.
that I'm getting there that lives on the edge of a desert. And within the desert are giant worms. This is not Dune. But it is a tradition for a young woman to become a part of society and to help make decisions. She has to go and hunt a worm and successfully kill it. And so she's out on the sand dunes, and her name is Tara. And she's got on this full gear to protect her from the scraping sands of the desert. And she's with a hunting party, but she's the one that has to make the kill. And so she sneaks up on the worm, and she successfully kills it, and I play the death card. And the worm goes, and it stops his thundering, and it dies. And as she goes over to finish the kill, she leans in with her knife, and she jams it into the worm's eye, because its brain sits right behind its eye sockets, and there's no way to get to there any quicker. And she twists the knife, and it goes limp. And the worm begins to fizzle and bubble. And this surprises her, and she jumps back, because the worms are not supposed to do that. They're not magical, they're just worms. And before her eyes, the worm dissolves down into the sands, and it leaves the sleeping body of someone wearing a crown.
So you play my card? Is that how we're
So
doing
you
it?
play your card.
I play my card, and then it's my turn. So the sleeping body is male form in what looks like it's a sort of scaly outer skin. Doesn't look like her type of skin, and his face is covered with what looks like I'm losing my words. Oh,
It's okay. So his face is covered with like big ridges and stuff?
Yeah, like yes, let's say ridges.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks kind of reptilian humanoid instead of humanoid like the young girl is used to.
Has she seen this kind of person
And she's
before?
never seen anything like this, never heard of anything like this. The crown is firmly attached to his head. It's not fallen off. It sits among some of those ridges very snugly.
Mm-hmm.
And she calls out to the other people that have been backing her up and says, "We must rescue this poor person."
What is that?
Yes.
We must rescue this poor person. So she calls back to her people who are, because we want to play the cards out of our hands too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes back to the forest quickly and gathers her people from the forest, and says, "Help! We need to rescue. Something went wrong. Something was not right with the thundering caterpillar. It was not a thundering caterpillar at all, but rather some sort of sleeping." Wait, can I play from this hand or do I?
Let's say you can only play from your whole
Alright,
hand.
some sort
Spin it
of
up.
sleeping
That makes sense.
draconic king under some sort of a spell. And I can't even see what
Kingdom time passes a giant.
and we need to rescue this ancient draconic king and perhaps return him to his kingdom so he is not angry that we tried killing him.
There we go.
Hey!
So the quest has been set out. We must find this king and we must return him to his kingdom. But how can we do so? So the strange lizard man and this warrior woman set out to find a steed.
Can they speak the same language?
No, but the lizard man, having been one of these worms and outside of the civilization and seen all these warriors, has picked up enough words to at least understand that he wants to help this woman. Because he's a good guy, he's a good lizard guy. These lizard people are known to be good dudes.
Is he handsome?
Well, if you're into lizards.
Well, don't judge.
Yeah. I mean, as far as lizard dudes go, he's like a solid lizard dude. And so they go out and they find a giant, thundering caterpillar named Adwa.
Okay.
And they tame Adwa and make Adwa their thundering steed. As they ride off to save the king and bring him to his kingdom. And this is where it is revealed, where something is revealed.
Oh, you're just gonna leave me hanging there.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Okay. So they begin this journey barely speaking the same language at all. He only understands a few words of hers, and all she hears from him is hissing because he's a lizard guy. And on this long journey, 4 moons pass at least as they travel the desert on this worm who is named
Adwa.
Adwa, which means
It's
Adroit.
That's how you would pronounce adroit if you were French.
Okay. That went right over my head.
I remembered.
So they ride this creature which they've named Adwa. And as they spend more time together, they get to be able to communicate better. And they begin to tell each other their stories. And so every night when they camp under the full moon, they'll tell moons, there are 2 moons in the sky, they'll tell stories about their lands. And so she tells him about their hunting culture and how fierceness and strength is respected. And she had just become a full member of the tribe by slaying him, though technically she's not sure if that's true anymore. So it puts her standing in question. And he tells her about his land, which sounds totally different. It's a very studied culture. It's a very thinking culture. It's very philosophical. They move slowly before making decisions, and they're a democracy. And she thinks that this just sounds crazy. Like, why would you let a whole bunch of stupid people decide what's going to happen to you guys? And they...
Quick, somebody give Joe an affirmation while he can't escape. Sorry.
They fight about it during their mini moons of travel together. And then finally they come to an impasse where they're very mad at each other, and she thinks that his culture is really just messed up and toxic and evil, and he thinks that she's really backwards and just this nerve herder from out in the desert because she's scruffy. And they huff off from each other and they part ways. People part ways.
They leave each other, and in not such a happy.
Yay!
Thank you
Savage,
for following.
Savage. Thank you for following.
Thank you for being a friend to computer and fun. I like saying that.
She thought she was helping, and now she finds out that he doesn't care for her, and they've stormed off in different directions, and she's very dejected. Not only is her standing in her own tribe at risk because she did kill something, but it released something else, and that's never happened before. So she decides that going back home right now is not something that she can really
Krypton, thank you for following.
face. She's quite nervous about what the reception is going to be. She's kind of failed to form a kinship with this person that she feels that she saved, and she's very uptight about it, and so she decides that she is going to sleep on it and decide what to do later.
So she goes to sleep.
She goes to sleep.
And then time passes. No.
Cheater. Well, we only have like 5 minutes left, so
Yeah.
if you want to speed it up.
We can do this lightning round and start stealing each other's thing.
All right.
So she wakes up, decides she has to return, and she heads off with all haste back to her tribe because she's realized, yes.
Thank you for the
Thank
resub.
you for the resub. She has
Yep.
realized that an affirmation is
Yes.
that's a resub.
Thank you. Okay. I was wondering if you're gonna keep going there. All right. Thank you so much for resubbing. Who was that? It was Gloa.
Lua.
Gloa. Ooh, yes. Gloa, you are an effulgent, sparkling chipmunk. There we go. Ooh, you got an extra one. That's right, you're an effulgent, sparkling chipmunk. And in case you know what effulgent means, I know what it means. It also means sparkling. So, double
Double
sparkle
sparkle.
chipmunk.
Super sparkly chipmunk.
Sparkliest
So
chipmunk.
she is returning to her tribe with all haste. And as she's nearing the woods,
She finds.
She's-
Oh, sorry.
I've got to hand it to you.
Was that so?
5 minutes. We can
I got this.
Okay,
I got
so-
this. All right.
Gamote.
So we're just doing these
sees
things.
a sparkling and gets horribly distracted by this sparkling. But what she doesn't realize as she's getting distracted is the Lizard King has been giving chase. A
Ooh,
chase
He comes
to
back.
her. He is coming back
Aww.
and saying, in his lizard tongue as he catches up to this sparkling creature, this sparkling chipmunk. And she is... I had it. I swear I had it. As she gets closer to this chipmunk, the king is coming racing up.
Yay, thank you for
following. Unagi.
The king is coming racing up. She is distracted horribly by this chipmunk, and it is a good thing that this king has come racing up to rescue her as a giant comes out of the forest.
A giant
swinging.
swinging an axe.
Oh,
we're out of time.
nice.
Swinging an axe that is enchanted, so it also has fire at the end of it. And then an argument erupts between the king and the giant over whose land this rightfully is, because it turns out that this land used to belong to millions of giants who have been wiped out by all these ingenious small people who managed to introduce disease and all kinds of other things.
I was gonna say the giants can turn into giant caterpillars, but whatever.
Oh, that would be good. But instead, the civilization has become a ruin, which is an absolute drag. And so some of the giants have turned into caterpillars, some of them have turned into giant worms, and some of them are blind.
Oh,
And there you go.
Okay.
That was
they're
your
at a
turn.
disadvantage.
And that's all my cards,
Yes.
except for one.
Okay, so the blind giant with his flaming axe is squaring off against the Lizard King, and the young girl Tara has been broken from her glamour with this chipmunk, and she manages to escape its thrall, because if she hadn't, it would have turned into what it really was on the inside, which was a terrible tiger-like creature that would have eaten her. So,
Where's her remaining?
hers are right there. It's coming. So, the Lizard King knows that he actually can't beat this giant because he's got a flaming axe. So he grabs Tara's hand and they run away and they jump on their travel worm and the worm just shoots off and they come to a place where they have to hide because the giants are chasing them and they have very long strides, so they're keeping up. And they come upon some ruins and they jump off the worm and they just start running into the ruins and they go through a door. And what they don't realize...
Hello. Friend computer welcomes a new
Demolition, thank you
bumper
for following.
for
That is
science.
a new
I'm subscribing, I'm sorry, thank
That
you
is
for subbing.
a new sub, which also means we get to do a giveaway because it's
Nice.
Freaky Friday.
It is Freaky Friday.
It's free.
I
Free Friday.
believe that also is going to be a copy of Necropolis.
Oh,
Nice.
Which is a ton of fun.
Super
Multiplayer, especially, lots of fun.
Sub hype. Okay, who was it that subbed? I didn't get to see it.
Demolition.
Demolition 1. Demolition 1, thank you so much for subscribing. People like you keep us on the air, so we like you a lot. Look at all that sub hype for you. Demolition 1, I want to let you know that you are a confident, articulating kitsune. A confident, articulating kitsune. So you're a kitsune that has full grasp of the human language and goes ho 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 ho.
Which allows it to be very confident.
which is what the kitsune says.
Absolutely. Oh, look at all that sub hype.
Alright,
Okay,
so they're hiding.
So they bust through this door. They find out these ancient ruins are actually the haunted remains of the Lizard King's kingdom because he's actually been trapped in that curse in the worm for hundreds of years. And then a ghost child tells him about the history of the fall of his people.
The winner of the Steam Key was Mortis Steel.
Oh, cool!
Mortis
Congratulations,
Steel.
Mortis
Good
Steel.
job.
You get the Steam key, which I think is
I don't think
Necropolis.
my PC can
Enjoy
actually
it.
run Necropolis. We'll find out.
Find it out. Find it out right now. And the child says, our kingdom fell because you were stolen from us. And you are the heart of our kingdom. And you and that crown are one because without royalty we cannot exist. And then the ghost baby fades away. And in its place is a single tiny fairy cake.
Which is food.
Which is food.
Food.
When they go to pick up the fairy cake, it breaks into 2 pieces, and in the center.
Wait a minute,
of
you
the
just
fairy
played
cake-
one of your. We're not supposed to play those. You played one of your own from the table.
It doesn't matter anymore.
We're
Oh,
trying
we
to get
got
out
like
of
2 minutes. A ring breaks open. There's a ring. The king says, this ring is given to the winner of a contest that our people ran where you had to fight wolves. I don't know how the child conveyed this ring to us, but it's always belonged to the stepmother of the king.
So finish the story for us, Anna.
Time's ticking.
So close.
It has always belonged to the stepmother of the king, and it is magic, and will return you to your kingdom. And so, the great king says goodbye. No, you're out. You're done. You removed your ability to contribute to this story.
I'm being quiet.
The king says his goodbyes, says farewell, and promises to visit. Returns home, is reunited with his sister.
Time passes.
And then time passes.
And then time passes.
And she, the sister, is reunited with her family.
Yay!
Good job. Go team. That was fun.
That was all the cards. I'm a little sweaty.
That's I do. I needed to hang on to the family cards until the end, and I'm like,
that was a good call.
It'll be good.
So that is the end of our hacked version of Once Upon a Time.
Cooperative style.
Cooperative style. So we played one competitive, one cooperative, and one cooperative that we just designed a little better today.
Cooperative plus.
Yes.
I think it went pretty well. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did too.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the game. What did you think about this game, Anna?
This is not normally my style of play for similar reasons. Mine lend me more towards wanting to prepare a story ahead of time and have it all planned out. But I found it to be very enjoyable. I would, again, love to see a full cooperative version of it, figuring out mechanics for making it like a fully cooperative storytelling with these elements pulled in. Like, I
Hear
think
that? Hear that, Atlas
I think
Games?
that's fantastic. But I enjoyed it much more than I had expected to be like nerve-wracked the entire time.
Really?
It was.
You don't trust me yet?
Oh, I trust you, but do you not realize how much like social anxiety and how little self-confidence I actually have? I am ridiculously shy and full of social anxiety.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, you hadn't even listened
I did.
What did you think, Scott?
I thought it was great. This is, as a writer, this is totally my bread and butter. Just making stuff up. I'm the kind of guy that, like, when I play Risk with my friends, we spend 4% of the time rolling dice, and 96% of the time, like, try to convince each other that we actually want to screw over this guy. Like, I'm all about, like, spending more time talking than playing the game. And so a game like this, where it's like, here's some things, and you're all just gonna talk, it's totally my kind of game.
Excellent. So the real question is, can we take players with two very different preferences for playing styles and put them in the same game and have it work so that everybody has fun? This is like the holy grail of game design, and I think it's all something that we think about a lot. I know that on this show, and the games that I tend towards are definitely more towards your end, where it's cooperative and spontaneous and you're making things up on the fly, and it's a lot of yes and improvisational kind of stuff. But I definitely have played a lot of games where it's very structured as well. And so I think that there is definitely like a happy medium, and it's okay to play some games and not play other games too. Like, if a game that you're playing is not fun, if it makes you super anxious, then like, I don't know, change it. Like we did.
I would have an easier time playing this with my group of friends who I know and can riff off of because we have some stuff in common. Playing this game in front of people with strangers was like the height of my anxiety. Like, you could have barely put me in a more anxiety-inducing
We could have
game.
gotten sharks. We could
But
have sharks.
even so, I had plenty of fun. I had fun hacking it. I had fun even when I was tongue-tied. I still enjoyed getting to the end of it.
Yes.
And part of being a tongue-tied introvert is that I can't be too upset when I can't, be competitive. So I can enjoy when we're playing a competitive game and you've lost all your cards, or you've played all of your cards. I'm happy for you. Good for you. I couldn't do that.
Well, thank you again so much for joining us, even with all of those, constraints. It really means a lot to me because you're my friend, and I'm really glad that we got to talk about and play Once Upon a Time. It's a game that I've been meaning to play for years, literally, and this is the game that just will not die, and it's for a reason, and it's because people really like it. So it's not an expensive game. Go and pick it up. Get 2nd or 3rd edition. Probably you can't even find 1st edition anymore.
No, it's collectible.
It is collectible. But thank you guys, chat, so much for joining us today. We really appreciated it. I'm going to see exactly how much time we have left. Okay, 7 minutes. That's good. So one thing that I like to close the show with before we start talking about other things is kind of like one thing that we liked about each other during play. So yes, you can go first.
I liked your bravery. And I think that you did a fantastic job.
I liked your acceptance. You're very accepting. That's nice. It makes it fun.
Oh, that's cool. Scott, I really liked how you were just ready to be all in, like at all times. I thought that was really cool.
This is good because I was already going to say, Anna, this is the first time I've actually been on camera with you.
Right?
And I was excited for it. I'm legitimately surprised that you were like, this game is so not what I was expecting because I thought you had played it before because I thought I was having a great time. So I think, again, I'm going to say your bravery as well. That both of you, I was very, I'm surprised that you guys were anxious during this because I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought you guys did fantastic.
Pretty sure we both wanted to hide under the table.
But,
well, I'm glad you didn't because I had a lot of fun with you guys.
Yay! No, I really respect that you guys, came up in front of cameras anyway and did it anyway. I think that is really very telling of character strength. And so I'm really, really happy that both of you decided that was okay and that you joined us. So thank you.
You took the right invitation.
Yeah. And then, of course, thank you to James and the other designers of Once Upon a Time for making the game, because you made this game, we had fun today. So it's a direct one-to-one correlation. Thank you to chat, who was very nice to James and also nice to us. We love having you around as a community. You guys are great. Always look forward to Fridays just so that I can talk to you. So thank you and have a wonderful weekend. Any last words on game design before we start talking about what's up next? Any thoughts?
Nope, not for me.
Okay, because I can blab forever about game design. I really can.
Which is why I'm not contributing more thoughts, because I could too.
Well, I think we should.
Yeah.
So
Don't let me hold you back.
there was someone in chat earlier,
right back.
and who I forget who it was now. I think it was Monkey something. But they were talking about what is the point of cooperative games? Like, where's the tension at? Because the whole point of a competitive game is you're playing for stakes. And I think there's still stakes, they're just different.
Yeah, I mean, it's storytelling. When you're telling a story, the most basic opponents, you've got, what is it? Help me with this, because I can see why you're smart. Yeah, man versus nature, man versus self.
Man versus man.
And I think most games, when they're competitive, they're against man versus man. But it becomes more, in our case, it was woman versus self. But it's also against nature. And like, you look at a game like Pandemic, and you are playing against the game. And most cooperative games, that is the point. You are playing together against the game.
Are you guys familiar with Red November? Gnome with a G-O, gnome.
No.
Red
November.
No.
That is a fantasy flight game, and it's a cooperative game where you are aboard a submarine, a gnomish submarine, and the submarine is sinking. As time goes on, submarine is sinking, and your dudes have to run around and fix things, or stop things from breaking, or escape from things, or escape completely. And the thing there is time. Every turn that's played, time passes and something is triggered and happens. And so then what you're playing against is the passage of time. That's what adds that element of anxiety or whatever that maybe you would have if you were trying to get to the finish line before someone else. Now you're trying to get to the finish line before the submarine sinks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I really enjoyed that little game. I don't know if it's even in print anymore, but
Well, I'm sure the internet could find it.
Yep.
Chat can tell us, right?
Red
Right.
November.
November. I also am of the opinion that there can be games where there is no verses. It's a flip of how you think about games, and games become exploratory in nature rather than accomplish-orientedness in nature. So instead of trying to go and do a thing, your objective is to go and basically spread your imaginative consciousness over a space and then see what's in there. I like that kind of game. I think I'm just oriented towards that personally. But I see how they can kind of both work together. And sometimes games will have elements of both, actually. So, I don't know, game design's so great. There's so many possibilities. Alright guys, you keep chat busy for like 2 seconds. I'm gonna end us with some game feels tweets.
So I can talk about what is coming up next.
Yes, do that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this week we do not have Death from Above coming up next. However, Zach has been resting up for the last 2 days to bring you an amazing session of All Out of Bubblegum. Is it right?
Yeah.
All Out of
All Out of
Bubblegum.
Bubblegum.
All Out of Bubblegum. And I couldn't remember the exact name of this game, but my understanding of it is that you have 2 actions that you can do. You can either chew bubblegum or kick ass.
I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And that's basically the whole, that line is the basis of the game.
Hyper power go! We're just sneak one in if it's real, huh?
Is Jessica here yet?
Hashtag weekly affirmations for Jessica Marzipan and her Marzipals that are showing up later. Today.
Yeah. So, is
Somebody
Jessica
find out
here?
if Jess is here.
Well, wait 1 second. Are you gonna go find out?
I can go check. Go check. I don't think she's here, or if she is, she doesn't want to come up.
She's not ready.
Mark went to...
Okay. Alright, so this one is for Jessica. A fifth reel sneaked it in at the last second.
Oh, here she is.
Oh, come, quickly.
Join us, Jessica!
Jessica, I haven't seen you since you moved.
You need to be affirmed.
You can be affirmed.
I'm gonna
You're
get
getting
affirmed.
You're gonna get
affirmed
affirmed.
by the wonderful Strix.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Strix.
Hello, I'm
You
Jessica.
can come over here. It's okay.
It's good.
It's good. So, this is
adorable.
a nice show.
This is good news.
So we have this thing called the affirmation matrix in my show.
Okay.
And people can affirm each other. And
Okay.
you've been affirmed by donation from a fifth reel, who is one of our regular viewers.
Aw, man.
Yeah! So are you ready for this?
Yes.
So Jessica, you are a sweet, equivocating leprechaun.
I can't even be sarcastic. That's so nice.
Well, there's a tradition on this show that you make the noise of whatever it is that you pulled on the cards. I don't know if you want to give that a shot.
If you don't, then we make her do it.
Yeah.
You can tell this wasn't my idea, right?
I'm very concerned.
Oh, look at all that hype.
I'll go. Hoity-toity-toy.
Ah, there you go.
Perfect. Thank you so much,
Wonderful.
Jessica.
Thank you, Jess.
Namaste, I guess.
All right. So next is All Out of Bubblegum, and we are gonna end the show today with some tweets. So, oh yes, Nick, they caught you being a muskox. I'm so gonna retweet that. Thank you, JP Beltran.
Excellent. Excellent. Well done.
So, Spicoli, Geek Girly, Nicole, and me, we are all captivating, enigmatic lore masters. Yay for us. That's from JP Beltran. Toadcoder says, Strix fact, Madoop actually means little owl who games in the Freeman language. It means little mouse, but yes, we can pretend it means little owl. JP Beltran also says, Weekly Affirmations community is such an oasis for lovely, weirdo, indie, tabletop game times. It's a home I never knew I had. And then Toadcoder tweeted me the picture of Zach in the suit. And that's all the time we have for today. So, thank you, Toadcoder. Joe, can you give us that outro, please?
Oh, I said a weekly affirmations, a positive feel-good show. The most positive thing on this channel called Hyper Rabbit Power Go.
It's pretty decent.
See you guys next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye!